Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second day of NLC RPS. I'm excited to see how the teams will be doing over here in Group B. But for now, it's time to introduce ourselves. My name is Duckling, and today for the first two games, except for the other, we were supposed to have three, but we've only gotten two, Brackish. Regardless, I am still excited to be here, joined by you. Although you are from the UK, and in this particular tournament, I am not a UK faithful, let me say that one.
We're having our villain arc come at us. Honestly, Ruddy on day one showing their caliber and kind of Ruddy, just ruddying it up. Honestly, falling behind in both of their games, but coming back through some great team fighting. And today, we've got the first seed coming on out of the Four Nations in Tempest Gaming, getting onto the Rift, and they're ready to destroy some faces as well.
And that's kind of what scared me, to be honest, because Ruddy were your second seed, so Tempest are supposed to be better. And Ruddy went 2-0, the only team to go 2-0.
There's a theoretical, right?
Yeah.
That this Tempest Gaming is actually down a player. We'll get into it more when we get to their game 2. But Dunlosey, who was with them for the entirety of the UKEL split, is not joining them for the RPS. So that might affect them. Although any UKEL fans who know about the Doctor rants, the he can't keep getting away with it meme of Dunlosey farming, just kind of showing up somewhere, getting 2 kills, and then the game was over. So we'll see how Rasmus, the new jungler, does a little bit down the line.
Yeah, a Dane as well, so makes me very conflicted. Why would a Dane join the UK?
I'm calling some kind of like Danish underground mafia dealings.
I mean, that would be sick. It's probably like Danceman just running it all, just sending Danish talents into just UK teams from the inside, and then taking back on a Danish team. Then they smurf all of a sudden. Who knows? I mean, we have had some good Danes in the UK. Den Voxton notably has played in the UK coach as well. We've had many good Danish players actually come through the UK system. Sadly, you do have that on us. Regardless, though, you did develop some good Danish talent, and I'm thankful for that. I do want to take it towards our first game, though. It is, and I've been informed, it is not Chaos. It is Chaos who will be playing in our first game, up against the Finnish side, EA, or Epic Avalanche. Let's just keep it at that, because EA just gives way different connotations. Regardless,
I'm so excited.
It will be exciting, because
but especially for EA, because they are known to cook.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to get onto, because EA have been cooking some mean drafts. The notes we've been given from the lovely carpets I was with here on Monday, it explains some interesting draft decisions, especially on the top side. I'm gonna point to Mercer first, though. He's noted Kassin. I mean, that's pretty standard, but it's not something we see commonly in pro play. Jin, that's weird, but okay, we'll allow it. Diana, but with Grasp. Lee Sin as well. Lee Sin is like 3 years ago you played him in the mid lane, not now in 2023. So he's been cooking some mean stuff.
If you're just better, then these things will work. And Mercer has been showing off fantastic performance, although it's worth noting that Epic Avalanche only came 4th in the regular season, and then absolutely stormed through playoffs, dropping a single game.
Maybe they just cooked.
The playoffs buff, and potentially the cooking as well. Got to remember as well that there's some high caliber players in here. Like 2 of the people on this team have played in NLC Division 1. There's Rauhan Tuamari, formerly Tatui, top laner for Singularity, now in the jungle, but obviously you've got that tenure, and Mercer as well, formerly an NLC Div 1 player. So looking towards that mid-jungle especially, even more so, if some cooking can happen and Mercer can upset the apple cart a little bit, maybe force Chaos into this more, chaotic playstyle.
And not to put someone down for playing in the NLC. The thing is, though, Tatsui, his time in the NLC was in Singularity. You mentioned it, and Singularity that year weren't particularly impressive. So obviously it's good experience, but it's important to also say this is not someone who has been dominating in the NLC Division 1. Regardless, there is no doubt that experience like that is useful to grow from, and it has definitely changed him in some ways. Not only just the name, Rauhan Tumari, but also the position, right? I'm rotating into the jungle. I want to say, though, I normally see players transitioning into jungle doing quite well. I hardly see junglers rotating out of jungle doing quite well. So I'm happy to see him go from top to jungle. I'm excited to see what he brings. Maybe he will be cooking as well. We talked about it. That top side has been doing some weird stuff. Let's see if it happens in this game, because I have been informed draft is ready. So we should go in just maybe 30 seconds. And we'll see, Brackish, what EA have lined up for us and what Chaos will be bringing out as well.
Absolutely. And looking on into this game number 1, I believe it is Epic Avalanche who have the blue side. We'll be able to see that very shortly. Now, it's interesting because they have very much liked giving, Epic Avalanche, have very much liked giving counter pick to Karox in the top lane. Obviously, being blue side, they won't be able to do that necessarily, unless, that is, Karos decide to pick their top laner a bit earlier in the draft.
Yeah, I think one of these things are always very exciting, right? Because one of the good things about being very versatile and having these weird cooking things for Epic Avalanche is the flexing ability, right? We saw this from Rich Gang when they played on the first day. Their players like to play untraditional stuff, so they were able to flex very hard in draft, and things like the Sejuani, until exactly the last pick actually be unknown where it could go, because it could go mid, jungle, and top, because all three players have played a lot in their competitive career. So some of these versatility things and weird cookings can work out in draft and give you that upper hand, just denying your opponent the easy read on the draft and knowing, oh, this is where this will go. We still can't see the draft, so we don't know if they're done with the ban phase. If you're wondering why we aren't talking about it, I can hear stuff in my headphones about what is being banned.
I heard a Karma going, I heard a Jarvan going, and Orianna as well, but I'm not certain who banned what. Obviously, once that's up on your screens, we'll elaborate on that some more. But quite simply, I'm really interested to see how this Vintage org plays, just because I'm a bit of a chef myself, frankly, but not to the same extent as these folks. But for one person who loves playing weird, dumb stuff, a whole team that does that really speaks to me as a person.
I don't know if you're experiencing technical difficulties, but we have finally gotten our draft up. Chip be loaded somewhat normally now, so you're right, Braggage. I will say impressive being able to get quite a bit of the champions being banned just by the audio cues. Rumble has been first picked here from Epic Avalanche, and the response from Chaos was instantly just to go for the Lucian and the Nico. The Nico I see being very messed up, but the Lucian, very interesting.
I am slightly concerned that Chaos might not have done their research, because Rumble is usually a permaban against Epic Avalanche, which there's only one place it really goes in the current meta, and they've just given it to Karox. They've also got themselves the Lovers duo. Now, obviously, we see the Lucian lock in here for Chaos. We don't necessarily have to see it in the bot lane, but after the change to Lucian, where, everything got put in onto the Vigilance passive, he has lost quite a lot of the value in a potential mid-flex.
Yeah, as you say, I really like the point you're making about the potential effect. We just talked about it before the draft as well, right? Keeping that obviously could be very, very beneficial. The analysts are now logged in. Someone who definitely needs to be wary of the first couple of levels, but then has a lot of decent fighting ability as well. With the Syra Khan being locked in, we either expected to just dominate the lane, or if Chaos want to bring the fight to the Lovers duo down in the bot lane, I think anything can happen if you go for an aggressive bot lane. As the bans now continue, jungle seems to be the priority here for the side of Chaos at the very least, and it makes sense considering none of the teams have locked in that jungler early on.
Yeah, I think if you're Epic Avalanche right now, you're really, really, really happy, because, as I alluded, Karox got his Rumble, and, well, VL Eru are actually kind of the stable side of this team. It's the top side where most of the cooking happens. So being able to lock in Xayah, who is a pretty safe AD carry, it's going to be a challenge to dive, give Eru something that can get out onto the map and make good things happen, alongside this potentially funky picks that can come through. And we see further bans away from the jungle from Chaos, although obviously Epic Avalanche wanting to protect Karox to the top side, they're going to take away the K'Sante.
Yeah, K'Sante very, very strong in the build is something we saw a couple times during Worlds as well. So, very meta bans overall. It is not uncommon in this level of tournament. We see a lot of the pocket bans being banned away, but so far the draft has been mostly standard in terms of the ban. Maybe the Briar sticking out, the Karma as well being quite unorthodox. Regardless, I'm still waiting to see the junglers here. 3 out of 4 junglers banned in the second rotation, so not too many are available, with the Jarvan and Nocturne being removed in the first rotation as well. The Kayn was Hobbit, but instead they go for the Brand. I presume this is the Brand either mid lane, probably mid lane. It can also be jungle, can be played there. I'm actually not sure where it goes. They are cooking, Chaos.
Turns out that Chaos are just going to cook right back at Epic Avalanche. They attempted to T-pose on them, and Chaos T-posed right back. Gotta watch out, however. That is something. I'm not going to talk about it specifically until it's
that's
locked.
the fizz.
And that's a fizz picked up. Now, production just flashed something. Once we get to the end of the draft, we'll be able to talk about it in greater detail. But the brand is very interesting because, of course, in recent patches, it did get buffed up to actually be a viable jungle option. We'll see if that comes to fruition. But I'm very interested to see this last pick. Obviously, it needs to be a jungler, and that's a spooky 2v2.
That is a very, very strong 2v2. Good burst as well, being able to get the reset quite easily. The fizz burst, very hard to deal with, especially if the jump in the waters does connect. Now we're waiting to see what cows will be cooking here. So they're hovering the Varys. Can change last second again. If this locks in, it's hard to say where anything goes, to be honest. So he swaps it.
That makes a little more sense.
Okay, so it is the Renekton. Then my prediction here is you throw the Renekton top lane, you go Alistar Lucian bot, you throw the Brand jungle, and then you put the Nico mid.
So Brand and Nico kinda can be slightly interchangeable because they're both AP picks that can farm very easily. I think I would prefer to see the Nico in the jungle because she has a much easier time landing CC with the Tangle Barb. But if they want to have the CC on their lanes, obviously, very easy CC setup in top lane. With the Nico in mid, you can just Tangle Barb to set up for the Brand. Once we get on in and production's confirmed that there are no further switches around, we'll elaborate a little bit more. But also, this Brand jungle, what it has is a really fast clear. Especially the first clear is pretty damn quick.
Yeah, I am very excited for the Brand jungle. And as you already talked about, in the recent patch note as well, they've been mentioning, they're buffing it a little bit. They want to keep it an option for these types of games as well. I, in particular, remember the patch note saying, please just start Q early on because it has more damage, less cooldown or whatever. They wanted to have that level 1, so I'm excited to see if Reflect will be taking the patch notes into consideration and running that for his first ability. Regardless, though, very exciting draft, but I am very shocked, Brackish, that it was actually cows with the most cooking. The only real unorthodox pick here from Epic Avalanche was in the mid lane Mercer, who we highlighted, locking in the fizz, who I don't think I've ever casted a competitive game of 6, and I've been casting for 5 years now. This is very weird cooking, despite Fizz being a normal mid champ down in your bronze iron elos.
So, yeah, Fizz is an interesting one because he is kind of that solo Q Stomper champion, but in a coordinated environment, he can struggle quite a bit. And as long as cows can keep tabs on him, or either can just force him to stay in lane, because Nico should be able to out-push him at every stage in the game. So we'll have to see what Rauhan Tumari can do. The Judge of Peace, I don't think he's going to be bringing much peace to the Rift today, honestly.
Yeah, probably more chaos in this game in particular on the Viego. I will especially be looking forward to the 2v2 you highlighted as well in the draft. It is very powerful, a lot of burst damage, so if their stuff connects, the squishiness of that Chaos lineup will die very quickly, and the resets could come through as well. So I'm very much looking forward to see how that will be playing out as the game does progress. Early on, I don't know where we'll be expecting the most action. I'm maybe looking at Crown on the top lane on the Renekton, looking to pull off some cheese, or maybe Cowox punishing an over-aggression. Early ward here for our Tum. That is such a name, man. Such a name.
We can always draw Ned Eskill flashing in, though.
I mean, he's committed for this. They want something. Not getting it so far. Trade back. Didn't get any summoner spells. So in the end, the flash used from the Alistar, who is very vulnerable level 1. I think where we might see the action could be in the 2v2 bot lane.
Quite possibly, but gotta remember that they forced the Viego to back, which slows his early clear. He has to now come back out of base.
Yeah, that's right.
He is going to be late to his first camp. Now, granted, VL and Eru can start it off without him. It means that VL might take a little bit of damage just, to ensure their jungler doesn't fall behind. And there we go. We'll see Rowan come in and collect this now. But that means that it's not a complete loss for Chaos. Yes, Eski now needs to be very careful. Of course, he has the Hex Flash, but the not really an ability you can use defensively.
And really want to look on this bot lane because Rauhan already walking down here after just the red buff.
He took that
The
personally.
2v2, yeah, the 2v2 is already strong, just being Syra Khan, and with an Alistar without flash, only the Q. They knew this would be happening, but yet still, Chaos caught out by it. I agree, Brad. She took that very, very personally.
Cue up the Michael Jordan memes, but because he took it personally and walked right on in. Will claim that first blood. And worth noting, by the way, Crowno is the one who is in mid lane into the Fizz right here. So Zoran on the Nico up into the Rumble. I like it. Give a ranged champion into the top lane. Makes it a little bit harder for Rumble to bully.
Yeah, I very much do agree with you. Although I'm interested to see how this 2v2 or 1v1 rather in the mid lane does play out because good damage got from Mercer. I don't know what
he's looking for it.
He's just dead.
No stun available.
One more auto is needed. It comes through as well. The turret is not enough damage. Mercer finds the solo kill. Fizz is online. Rauhan's online on the Viego as well. 2 kills to the mid jungle that we already said Chaos rather need to fear.
And yeah, that's just a little bit spooky. Worth noting, of course, Fizz has not gone for the teleport this game. We saw the Ignite used there to secure that kill onto Crowno, which means when he wants to take the reset, he is going to have to wait as Reflect. Walking on into the jungle here, gonna threaten around a little bit. Does have the level 4, of course.
Interested to see how this brand will be playing out in the jungle. You might have good damage, but CC isn't guaranteed to land for the ganks. You can't quite just all in yourself. It will be putting yourself in a very, very risky situation. So I'm looking forward to see how those ganks will be playing out. Things have cooled down a bit here on the Rift. But I want to point out as this is
no, they haven't.
I take it back. It hasn't cooled down. This will surely be one over to Siren. Takes a turret shot. Able to walk it off though. As trading does continue. In the bot lane at the earliest. Things have cooled down a little bit. And Eski is now able to survive without too much worry.
And we didn't highlight the fact that neither of Epic Avalanche's solo laners went to teleport this game. Karox went for it as well as Rauhan.
I mean,
again.
Take it all back. Eski was not saved by the slightest bit of margin. Rauhan really took that level 1 personally. He finds the second kill down on the cow in the bot lane.
This is so antithetical to how Epic Avalanche normally play. VL and Eru are meant to be the safe, stable bot lane. But Eski gets a little bit hyphy at the level 1, burns the flash, and now has been subject to 2 ganks bot lane, has 2 deaths, and Rauhan is already stacking up the kills.
And it's worth mentioning to me that he locked this in to play against. He knew what he was playing against. The Syra Khan, a very strong 2v2 in and of itself. And then with the Viego just coming down and abusing the flash, as you say, he got a bit too hypey seeing the potential play. Didn't quite get to look at the bigger picture because for the next 5 minutes he would end up just being punished. 4 minutes have passed, so a minute until he feels a little bit more safe, but really big loss. And Rauhan, he could run away with this lead now.
Absolutely could. Karox is able to put some good damage down onto Zoran, but he's got to be careful. We see Reflect coming on up. I'm not sure how close level 6s are. It seems like the call isn't going to be made in onto the top side. Mercer will spot out Reflect in the river, so we now have that full tracking towards the jungler right now. And also worth pointing out, this is some brand farming, by the way. Like, Rauhan has been farming champions, but Brand can clear his camps very quickly.
I'm very much looking forward to see his role in the team fights and what he will mean for the team being able to power farm for now. There is obviously something beneficial in power farming junglers, and Reflect has been doing a fantastic job at that. And that's why the gold is pretty much even as well. These CS leads in the top lane, in the jungle, lead in the mid lane as well, almost evening out the kill score there. It's continually VL and Eru just looking for the picks. They want more. Eski does have his flashback online, so should be safe for the ready to one engage, especially as Eru doesn't have a flash of his own. And that's why things has cooled down a bit, but they won't stop looking. They will still try and pressure the bot side and use that lead.
They need to keep leveraging it because elsewhere on the map hasn't been going quite so well. Zoran has 10 CS up onto Karox, has that kill as well. Mid lane, Mercer's been doing fine, but that kill is been traded for a 15 CS disadvantage. And this Fizz has been completely prevented from roaming at all. Now, Reflect stepping in onto the bot side jungle of Epic Avalanche. I don't know if they're going to be aware of it. That's a chum the waters if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it goes completely wild, and now we see the other hand of this 1v1 matchup. It is Crowno doing good work, forcing Mercer
VL?
out. Oh, a very weird situation. VL, yeah, he could be caught out instead. Good grand entrance, though, here from Arrow. That will turn the fight, surely, as Crowno in the backline finally finds the first kill. The reset's now coming through. The brand is there, but he doesn't have the ultimate. He can't get out of the body.
Nope.
No way out to safety. Double kill for Certified. As Eru, the last man standing, running for the hills, Crown looks to chase him down. This will be 4 kills into the pocket of Chaos lineup. Massive, massive turn for them, as they will gain a strong goal lead off of this.
Eru trying to get away. Will not be able to execute. Gets hit by the Seer out from Reflect.
Now, he's buying good time, though, denying Reflect the ability to truly power farm. But I think Reflect will be fine with it, gaining the 300 gold all to himself. Just even more farming, throws out the kick W emote. Very, very good emote, I will say. As Chrono continues to put down the pressure in the mid lane. And we're really starting to see that Renekton do some work. Mercer can't burst him anymore. And then let's just take a look at it one more time. Let's see the first initial 1v1 here.
We won't talk about that fish.
No, we don't.
But
we don't mention it.
All of this damage comes in onto Chrono as soon as Rauhan spots Reflect, and I think that's complete, utter surprise that they even found Reflect there. VL was stepping down to try and collapse onto Chrono as well. By the time they arrive, Chaos has just gotten there faster, better. VL goes down. Everybody from Epic Avalanche who committed to that play eventually dies, and suddenly Chaos are the one now sitting in the driver's seat, 1.5k gold up.
And I do kind of feel bad for Rauhan because the fight was just a couple minutes too early, as he will take the Drake before his level 6 would have been up. If he had that ultimate, the Heartbreaker, it would have certainly changed the fight because there were so many low members. The resets just weren't able to come through because he didn't have that burst damage to secure the kills. The missing HP damage wasn't quite there, as it's now up and available. In the next fights, he will look to get those resets because then they could still get back into the game. It is by no means over, but the momentum certainly shifted as those kills went onto the right members as well to the side of Chaos.
Chaos going to be able to get a decent cross map here. Obviously, the Drake just went down. Reflect will be able to secure the Rift Herald since Rauhan still only just coming into his top quadrant of the Rift. And shout out to Chrono for that last fight because drew so much attention and is still holding this 25 CS gold advantage over Mercer in the mid lane as well. Yes, okay, the Fizz pick is, is a bit funny, a bit quirky. It's got 2 kills, but it has not been allowed to get out of lane in any reasonable or meaningful way. Chrono has fully been shoving Mercer under tower over and over, and the lack of teleports is really kind of being exposed a bit from Epic Avalanche.
It's something that, as you say, it's already being exposed. Will only go worse as the game state progresses, as you can find yourself being caught on a side lane with no way actually to participate in the fight. My screen's gone black. I think my HDMI cable run out. Brackets, take it away.
They are looking to chase in onto Chrono, and the Heartbreaker will secure on his 3rd kill. Meanwhile, the bot side going very aggressive. VL dropping low. The feathers will come back through Eski. Will have to retreat, however. Certified got quite a lot of damage right now. Already completed the Essence Reaver, and he will have to give up some plates.
I'm back again. My HDMI cable did fall out, so now I can finally see what's going on the screen. Horrible timing. Another TP comes in. More plays and more things for me to cast. VL caught out underneath the dirt. Locked off. The cleanse won't bring you out to safety. 2 more kills into the Chaos pockets, as they're happy with that one. Mercy rotating down. Won't find anything, as they can start taking the jungle of their opponents away.
I don't quite... I feel like Mercer probably should have just stuck mid and shoved in the wave in Chrono's absence, because it was very unlikely that the Fizz was going to be able to get anything done into 4 members of the enemy team, even if you're alone under the tier 1 turret. Shelly going to get dropped down as well, secure first brick for Chaos. So, yeah.
First brick? Is that what you call it in the UK?
I can't remember where I heard it from, actually, Duckling, but...
It's probably something over in the UK. Honestly, it's the slang language. It's a roadman way of saying getting first turret.
No, I actually think it was the might have been the VCS. The VCS guys. Carricks, maybe.
Oh, maybe Carrick,
that I might have coined it from. But fun little terminology,
Yeah, I like it as well. Just haven't heard it before. And the game state currently, despite it being 5 to 7 in kills, if you look at the gold, the kill score is very deceiving because it's a big lead now. It is a lot of control into the hands of Chaos. I will say,
Look
with
at the
the
jungle.
composition that Epic Avalanche have, yeah, the jungle lead is massive. It is not over. You definitely have the possibility of bursting the right target, then getting the resets onto someone like Rauhan. The follow-up will surely be there as well. You aren't... I mean, you're actually quite far behind on the AD carry position, but maybe you scale up. Unless Chaos keep this pressure up, and they will try to do so here in the mid lane. Can they find VL? Yeah, they force the flash. Couple turrets onto Reflect. The fight ends there. Culling comes out just to get them even lower. They might be able to get a couple plates. No.
Watch out, Equalizer.
Reflect is half HP. Will be taken down. The shutdown onto VL. He's happy with it, but he will die for his sins. No! The Featherstorm came out just in time to deny the damage from the passive from Reflect.
Good knowledge to ensure that you don't die away to the Blaze stacks. And Reflect maybe overstaying his means a little bit, ends up getting collapsed on. That will be that kill handed across. Chrono as well. Doesn't realize that he's on vision right now. I'm not sure if they'll be able to get the interrupt. They will. He's pretty tanky at this point, though.
Yeah, he is strong. Does have the ultimate as well. Will look to burst down Rauhan, but not quite.
Watches the Heartbreaker.
Dies, and that's a way to find an escape path. TP could come in if they want to turn it, but no. They managed to catch up again. Another kill given over. I thought surely with the time he bought Chaos would be able to rotate and assist him, but didn't quite end up happening.
An Epic Avalanche, still swinging, still finding the skirmishes that they want. Of course, macro-wise, they are kind of inevitably going to fall behind in gold because they can't 1-3-1 in this game and do so safely because they have no teleports. As you were saying earlier, it's going to become more and more obvious as the game progresses that, okay, well, Carwox has to be in the side lanes. Zoran.
I think it's just a solo kill. No, good flash away. The ignite taking.
Take him down.
Yeah, it won't be enough. Ooh. That would have needed one more tick. The thing is, as we talk about the movement, we can see a fight around the Drake. These neutral objectives will become more and more important as the game goes on. And without the TPs, it will be harder to respond because all of a sudden, you can find yourself in a 5v3 as the two TPs come in and you might be caught on the top side, being unable to spawn to an Elder fight or a Soul fight. So the longer the game progresses, the more important these TPs become. So the Ignites have obviously helped in the laning phase, but it won't mean much in the latter stages. As Mercer looking for something in the mid lane. TP has come back, or top lane rather. Soren came back in with the TP to ensure that they didn't lose the turret.
I was looking at the minimap and was very confused to see Brand teleporting. Of course, was simply the Nico.
Baited.
Yeah. Got
Baited and outsmarted, as Team Siren would say.
It's not hard.
Let's see what Chrono's up to this time on his misadventures. He likes to go forward. I think that tier 1 in the mid lane needs to fall soon. Chaos wants to take it down. Because until then, they aren't able to get enough control on the map for Carano to really feel safe here. And I will also add, Carno's doing good damage here with the Flame Spitter. Carano wants to turn it around. Does he have the damage? Red carpet being laid out. No, it is Carano running here. He doesn't want to take the fight. Carwox flashes up, won't overextend, just happy to win the fight.
I mean, doesn't necessarily need to go too far forwards. He is the one catching the side lane here, Rohan. He's been a little bit careful. Reflect. Pretty scary having now completed the Rylai's as well. Very difficult to get away from.
Second Hell started up as well. They will look to get that down to open up the map, potentially that mid lane tier 1, but it won't be given up for 3. 7k and dropping as it is in the mid lane. Certified looking for the fight, but he's losing it in a 1v2. Another shutdown goes over yet again to the correct target. And the goal lead starts to slowly but surely balance itself out. Chaos though still focusing on the neutral objective. They turn off it because Crowder looks to want to fight. Doesn't have the Dominus. Forced to flash away from the Chum. The Waters as Reflect finds himself so far forward, gets taken down after he finds one himself. Prano looks to be taken here by the Heartbreaker. Will fall in the end. The resets come through. Pop Loss only finds one. The resets, as you say, Brackish, doing its work. Yet another one coming through as Mercer finds it. The goal lead has swung. It is so close to being even. Kills back in Epic Avalanche's favor, and that was a messy a scramble of a team fight, but it's Epic Avalanche who pull out ahead.
And when fights go long like that, Duckling, that's where Viego can thrive. Play it long, play it to find those exact moments. Certified Neski gonna force Rowan away. I don't know if they can stop. I mean, there is the flash, the smite rather, up and available.
It should come
Be as
through any
simple
moment.
as pressing
There we
that
go.
button.
Can they win the fight? Good damage onto Aaron. But as we see Mercer rotating down, they do not want to overextend. They've really messed up a couple plays here, Chaos, in a row. Will play it to Epic Avalanche to realize it and punish them. Let's see what happens in the mid lane. Certified. I think he starts up being a bit too greedy here, choosing to go for the 1v1. But very quickly, against the Lovers duo, turns into a 2v1.
Yeah, of course, the extra range on Battle Dance means that Eru can get there far quicker than Certified is prepared to deal with. Goes down before Crowner can get there to assist with the teleport. And then walks into the jungle, finds Rowan, realizes, oh no, I need to get out of here. And everything devolves into chaos at that point. Carlox is able to keep the attention of Reflect long enough for VL to take him down. Meanwhile, Mirza Eru and Rowan come on through to the back side and are able to tear the rest of the fight apart.
Yeah, fight in picture though. Eru caught out. Good damage, but the Rakan is so slippery. Battle Dance to get out to safety. On the other side, Certified takes good amount of damage. Mercer wants the instant burst, but the damage and the ignite ticking not quite enough. Certified should be out unless Mercer has something to say about it. He would rather go for Reflect, but it fails miserably, and Reflect picks up the kill. Eski finds himself in a peculiar situation. He'll be taken down by the Harbinger. TP comes in from Siren. This is exactly what you need in the fight to turn it. The resets, though, will stop there. Shutdown goes over into the hands of Crowner, who will find another alongside Siren. They take down Carwox. They look to chase down Arrow VL there to keep him safe. 3v2. Good pullback on the Blade Caller. So good damage here from the auto attacks. VL strong in this game after a good couple of shutdowns. Tango Bobs won't connect, and Crowner can't close the gap.
And that fight was basically 4v5 because VL was actually in the mid lane, unable to join in. And so Chaos will take full advantage of that situation. Look to continue to play this one forwards.
Crowner's still on the flank. Do they want to go for it? Eski
Yeah,
is here as well.
Really respect
A big
this.
call is up, so is the cleanse, so they just turn on it around and say, yeah, thank you very much for the shutdown. We'll survive that initial engage as well. Keeps kiting back now his own team and say, yeah, Crowner, you cannot go on this. Instead, he gets caught out, goes back in because he's forced to.
No.
Taken down. It's just over eagerness. Maybe some overconfidence as well. It's disappointing to see this from Chaos, but the punish here and the ability to outplay is so good from Epic Avalanche.
And when the fights break down into these more noodly skirmishes, Epic Avalanche time and again are showing that they relish, that they revel in that kind of situation. However, Reflect,
Oh,
nothing to
good
say about
damage,
that.
but the ultimate doesn't get to bounce around a lot. The Drake is falling ever lower. Eskin able to CC Mercer. Good damage from Certified as they're just cutting through Carwox. Yet again, so squishy on this Rumble. Just like everyone is squishy in this game, really, they could all fall within the blink of an eye if their opponents decide to. Someone who's been hard to catch them is VL. He just keeps surviving these fights. I'm not sure how. But he's playing great here as it is Epic Avalanche being able to pick up that second Drake.
Carwox being the willing sacrifice in that situation, stepping forwards to ensure that Chaos can't make it in, can't contest that Drake pickup. Obviously, it's not going to be a soul point or anything too magnificent. The first Cloud Drake only thus far in the game, which kind of further attests to how chaotic, how skirmish heavy this game has been thus far, that they've been fighting so much that Drakes have kind of fallen by the wayside.
Back to some jungle clearing here, and I do want to point out the TS that Reflectors managed to take this game. 161 at this point as for jungler, with how much fighting has been going on. It is very impressive. I will say that it's 30 more than his counterpart, and you can see with how relevant he is when he gets his combo of the damage. Certainly, they are gone for the red smite upgrade as well. So, damage certainly good. VL caught out, yet another good blade caller, or for the storm rather, into a blade caller that roots up Eski. Can they close the back up the second time? The pop blossom is good, and now there is no way out. It took so many attempts, but finally they got the right engage to the fight. Sorry, though, could die on the backside of it. Mercer will pick him up, but will pay for his sins with his life. 3-man down, and they will turn out towards the Baron here.
And a triple for Certified Random, not feeling very random at all, I would say. And again, we get it exposed. The fact that Epic Avalanche, Carwox was in the bottom lane. Chaos are just playing a very simple numbers game here by going for that fight. Down will drop the equalizer.
Likely won't do much. The smite is still in the pit, so should secure it very easily. Eski keeping the opponents at bay. Will they go for the fight? Seeing how Chaos have been playing this game, it wouldn't surprise me, but I think they should just back out, be happy for the Baron reset, spent the gold, and it's exactly what they will do.
Chaos, with that Baron pickup, the gold jumps back out 4.5k, but I hesitate to say that they have control of this game just because of how chaotic it has been, how willing Epic Avalanche have been to take fights when they were seemingly so far down. Rowan, Damari, Judge of Peace, doing great work on this Viego as long as he can find the picks he needs.
Ooh, that connect on the main target, I do believe. Yeah, Soren very quickly taken down, and there we see that 2v2 strength.
Like that.
The burst is incredible. Let's see if they can get the return call to Rahan, though. No, he wants to burst, but with this, yeah, with the sun just being there, not much you can do. Yeah, Rahan just caught out.
Yeah, chooses to Heartbreaker forwards, perhaps not fully respecting
probably not the right decision.
In front of him.
This game, Brackish, has been swinging back and forth, and it feels like both teams are making a good amount of right decisions, but also a good amount of bad decisions. And some minor inconveniences due to hands issues every now and then as well. So this has led us to a very, very chaotic game with a lot of kills, a lot of back and forth. But Chaos, despite only being 1 kill ahead, have been able to build up a solid goalie thanks to the neutral objective in this Baron and being able to take more turrets as Mercer. That Come the Waters was very wide, and now the Culling will just melt through his HP bar. He does survive though, luckily for him. Didn't have to pay for his very embarrassing miss since. This game is certainly delivering on the entertainment front.
Oh, absolutely, Duckling. As Rowan found Crown off to the far side.
Oof. Flash used, but Certified won't escape. Shut down into the hands of Eru. The fight can really erupt now. Reflect, the one who has to deal the damage, but no, Sonia's this time, as he will fall to one more tick of the Ignite. Yet again, Eru picks up the shutdown. Now Crowno, the only one standing with the Baron in this fight, as Soren is in the mid lane. Crowno is forced to flash. Soren says, I don't care, man. I'll get this tier 2 in the mid lane, and he will get it.
And the teleports give so much versatility to Chaos. I mean, Soren didn't have his up in this fight, which means didn't necessarily have the choice to join VL, trying to get this tier 1.
It goes back in. Gets good damage onto VL. He does save his tier 1 for now, but as a new wave comes and Arrow is here, the turret will fall. This game is chaos, Brackish. It is pure chaos.
I am 100,000% here for it, though, Duckling.
I'm digging it as well. It's fun.
And back to that last fight. Chaos, it was looking all right for a second, but as soon as Certified got caught, there was basically no reason for Chaos to continue fighting or, you know, to try and find a re-engage. So they just said, all right, Zoran, just chill on mid. Get that wave pushed in, get that tower taken down. They're now 4 towers up to 1, secured by Epic Avalanche. And they will be in the pit looking for this Cloud Drake as well. Soul looking a very long way off.
Yeah, the Soul won't be happening for a while, and it's been a trend in the games that I've cast that both teams are fine getting a couple early Drakes and then giving up some as well for other objectives like getting some vision around the Baron or a turret on the top side. And that is just into the situation where Soul is very uncommon in this tournament, because it doesn't really seem to be the deciding factor. They would rather have these neutral objectives. And Chaos get that bot lane tier 2. The map has started to really open up in this bot side of the Rift. And we are getting to the point, Brackets, where I feel like one big fight that is potentially a 5-for-1 or 5-for-0 could be a game decider for the side of Chaos.
Absolutely. And with all of the standing gold outside of that top tier 2 falling down on the blue side of the Rift, it's also makes it more and more dangerous for Epic Avalanche to step outside of their base, because there are so many tools on this Chaos roster to punish someone stepping unprepared into that jungle. Like, all right, well, you take a Tangle Barb and then all the follow-up and you die. Or you get Headbutt Pulverized and take all the follow-up and you die. Or a Ruthless Predator and you get on the follow-up and you die.
How have we found ourselves in this situation? Reflect forced to go golden instantly, and Certified is obliterated. Reflect is the next offer on the list. How did we find ourselves in this situation, Brackish? 2 massive kills into the side of Epic Avalanche's pocket, then they could just push it down mid lane.
Unfortunately, though, that was a 3v5. Both of the solo laners of Chaos are just pushing in their respective lanes. The inhibitor in bot lane is going to be cracked open by Crowno. Yes, Karlox is going to be able to get back and defend, so the inhibitor itself won't drop, but they give up that last piece of standing gold in the top tier 2 as well. And in fact, Karlox loses a big trade. The inhibitor is going to drop.
So it's 2 turrets, consider counting in the turret Sorin got in the top lane. So it's 2 for 1 in turrets this whole play. Maybe even 2 for 1. A very big minion wave here. And Nico pretty quick to taking this as Crowno definitely too far forward here. I think Rahan wants to have something to say to him. Does have the flash available. Will likely use it. With the Spectral more in the end holds on to that Cloud Rift, giving Crowno a means of escape. So they got 3 turrets off that play. And Sorin doing weird stuff here with his cooking. The Pop Blossom comes through. He will still fall though. That stopwatch won't save him, and as Baron spawns as we are speaking. It could be Epic Avalanche looking for it, and they want more kills though before they turn onto the neutral objective. Rauhan taken so low, and he will die to the burn. 2 kills going into the side of Chaos, but they've lost that jungler. Via though caught up by the flank from Crowno, able to flash away, and the Feather Storm had to be used as well. Only the cleanse remains. Mercer doesn't have as easy means of escape. The playful trickster has been used. Dashes through his opponent. Goes go with the stopwatch, might be able to E one more time. Here it comes, and he can look to turn towards Certified, but Certified says not today. Secures both of them, and he will get a 3rd as well. That's the ace for Chaos as they can turn to the Baron.
And for a brief moment, it looked like Epic Avalanche would have the opportunity to go in for the Baron themselves. Instead, they spend too much effort trying to get onto Reflect. Round Tomari dies as well, and as the fight breaks down, Certified stands tall on the Lucian. It will be Chaos picking up their 2nd Baron of the game. And with so much already down in the Epic Avalanche base, I feel like it might just take one concerted push, one more big one fight for Chaos to close this one out.
I really do not know what's happening in this game, man. It's one of the most peculiar games I've seen because both teams have shown some incredible plays, and they've also made some horrifying mistakes, both of them. It's very, very weird. It feels like we're watching 2 G2s at Worlds, where they just throw every now and then, but other than that, they do look good. I'm not sure what to say at this point, Barkish. Do you have something to add?
No, that's a very solid summary you got there, Duckling. As Chaos, maybe they heard us or something, or maybe it was just the macro correct play of stack up, push down the lanes. The only remaining tower outside of the Nexus turrets is this mid inhibitor. The wave clear, thankfully, from Epic Avalanche is pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty decent. But they still have to deal with these Baron-empowered cannon minions hitting from such a range that basically only VL can really farm them unless Karlx wants to commit the equalizer to it.
What is the heck flash? I thought Iski flashed for a second in place, but that wasn't the case. Aaron looking for the flank but can't step up. Good control denies him. Crowno making sure the flank won't be a possibility as well. As a big wave is crashing in the bot lane, Crowno wants to get down to it and buff it up, making it take more time for VL to kill it. Will obviously finish it off in the end, but buys a good amount of time. They're trying to draw them thin, and they really want that mid lane tier 3. Here comes the red carpet to start off the fight, but it does nothing but just stop Chaos from pushing for these couple of seconds. The minion needs a few more autos, 2 more, 1 more, I can't tell. 1 more was all it needed, and that's the final turret outside the nature surge. 1 fight that goes into the side of Chaos will decide this game.
And they are pushing into the base, trying to put damage down onto this mid inhibitor. And Epic Avalanche, this is not the sort of fight they want. They want the fight to be crazy. They want the ability for wild flanks from Rowan Twamari or from Mirza. And inside of their base, they're not really able to do it. Crowno gonna go in on towards Karlox.
Taking a lot of damage, but not that TP unavailable though, so he won't be able to quickly recall and get back into the action. Mercer
I like
wants
this
him, but
spot.
there comes the dominance, and now we can just turn it around easily on the assassin. No, he goes gold actually. And on the other side, it's Reflect being caught out, forced to flash away, certified, standing in the front line. He has the damage to back it up though, as he's still alive, but doing good damage. Reflect finally finds his opponent in this game, and now they will go forward. Chaos looks like they have won it, I will say, as certified finally falls. VL all that stands from Chaos winning this chaotic game, and he falls good Sonias this time as Mercer will be able to find the kill in the end, but it won't matter as the Nexus is the target. The Flame Spitter can't clear the wave, can't kill his opponents. Mercer taken down one more time. Cowbox doing what he can, but there's no way to save this game. It's over, it's done. Chaos, they pick up the win in 32 minutes. I don't know what to say, Brackish. What a weird game.
A bit wacky.
Wacky game, good way to say it.
I like the fact that as the game came more and more into Chaos's control, the chaos petered out. Basically, that last 5 minutes out of Chaos, they get the Baron, they walk down mid lane, clinically, they push it in. They don't get overly high feed, they don't go for a fight that they don't need to go for. They let the siege minion take down the last inhibitor turret. They push into the base, they take down the inhibitors. They wait for Epic Avalanche to shoot their shot at saving the game. And when they do it, they pick them apart, they take the individual members down, and they close out the game in a convincing fashion.
Yeah, I saw good performances from both teams in this game, but I saw massive blunders as well. It was a fun game. I think that is a point that definitely stands. But for how these teams stack up against the other teams in the groups, it is still hard to tell as we haven't seen them. But if one of the teams in this group is just consistently good, they should be beating both of these teams, unless the Chaos really thrives. We had a fantastic draft. I love all the curveballs. But in the end, in terms of advancement in the tournament, I'm a bit worried for these teams because the highs they showed were really good, but the lows they showed were also horrifyingly not good. So if they can clean that up and just stay at a high level, we have two teams with very good potential here. But if they keep this roller coaster ride up throughout the game, a solid team and a good team will just punish them straight up.
And well, we've got at least one of those coming up in the next game, Duckling.
Gonna
Gonna shout out to my UKL boys, Tempest Gaming, taking it onto the Rift in the next game. It's 42 Academy, I believe.
Yeah, against 42 Academy. We'll see what the Academy can do against the main boys from the UK EL. But we won't find out until after the break, so time to throw to that. And then we'll be back in around 10 minutes time. See you after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After that short break, we do have one more game coming up with me and Brackish before we head into our two very final games of the day. Obviously, those two including Danish teams. So that's where the real magic has to happen, right? But until then, we get a sneak peek of what the Garden Gaming team Tempest Gaming will evolve, or what is the word? I forgot the word here, Brackish. Help me out. Will include, as we do see Tempest Gaming this time taking on 42 Academy, the UK representatives taking on, I believe, one of our ladder teams. The ladder obviously being where you play and you just challenge teams to see how far you can get up on the ladder. The top two ladder teams have then been invited to this tournament. So for me, the 42 Gaming guys are a bit more of a wild card because we haven't seen as much of them as we have on pretty much every other team in the tournament.
I have a little bit of experience with the 42 Academy guys because I've cast for the org a little bit. Demps, the org owner, is actually playing today as the support.
Insane. Love it.
For 42 Academy. And don't worry, he is a very solid player in his own right. This is not some executive stepping down from his ivory tower to have his 15 minutes of spotlight. He very much will be here and ready to fight. But their opponents, well, I have watched Tempest Gaming throughout an entirety of a UKL 4 nation split, and they looked terrifying is the word. They lost one game in the regular split, and it was a game in which Beartree role swapped with Scream to go bot lane because he wanted to try and basically style on Vanguard of Belfast Storm. That hubris cost them their one loss in the regular season, but that does nothing to mute how completely dominant they were. They 3-0'd the grand finals over the Ruddy Painkillers, who are obviously playing in Group A. They did lose one game to them in the very first round of playoffs. Well, the first match that they played, they lost game number 1. Ruddy did come out with a really, really nice composition. They were able to take the fight to Tempest. But beyond that, they've looked nigh unassailable.
Yeah, that's not very good news to hear when we then remember that Ruddy also won both their games yesterday and looked very good. So it just shows that Tempest is likely very, very good here. And that scares me as a Dane because I really don't want to lose to the UK. But we've already done that once, so we might just accept our fate at this point. As I'm excited to see what Tempest will be bringing to the Rift. Obviously, the substitution here, subbing in Rasmus VR, a Danish young and upcoming jungler who's played for teams like Tricked Academy. Can change a lot because a jungler can mean a lot for a team. And despite the player you're bringing in might be equally as skilled, having to fit him into the team and the synergy can't be done that easily.
And that Lilia ban I want to highlight specifically. Gubba has a particular propensity for AP junglers. The Talia is another one. Also a big fan of the Nidalee jungle, although I think Tempest Gaming might be looking to set up some kind of draft trap where it's like, okay, Gubba, you can play Nidalee, and oh, actually, we don't care about her in the slightest.
These traps are very interesting part of the draft, as we just see it develop. A lot of meta mid laners banned away here. The Orianna Syndra moved to Leah as well, other than the two junglers we just discussed. So final ban here from Tempest Gaming. Very sensible one, I will say. Banning the Cassandra means we all get a more fun game to watch. Senna first pick though. This could lead into some Senna Temp Kench. We will see what happens as the draft progresses. But a very interesting first pick. I don't see Senna in my eyes as the first pick with the champion, but maybe they have something cooking here.
Clearly, yeah, 42 have something in mind, and seeing the Nico get taken away here would be a really nice pickup for the side of Tempest Gaming. Could go on to Rasmus, and Kusai is also no stranger to the champion as well. Kusai, by the way, season MVP coming out of the UKL 4 nations. Been basically completely dominant over every mid laner that the region had to show, and known for playing very aggressively. Playing his leads sometimes can lead to him playing a little bit too far and taking a couple of deaths, but he has very rarely looked bad. In fact, I would hazard to say he's never looked bad.
The Jinx now being locked in for Scream just sees that both AD carries has been locked in. I would expect though a Temp Kench to be locked in now, other than the 6, which is also very interesting considering you already have the Senna. Because if you don't pick the Temp Kench, that will like just be banned away. Or are they going with some 6 and a bot lane just for the heavy poke? I'm not too sure. What do you think they're doing here, Breck?
I wouldn't want to see Ziggs mid into an eco, because yes, you can farm with bouncing bombs until the end of time, sure, but if you step up to the wave and take a Tangle Barb, you are losing that trade and heavily every single day of the week. I think this is some kind of interesting center combination on the bottom lane. I'm not the hugest fan because as a Ziggs appreciator, I went to MSI this year with, and this is the sign that I took. As a Ziggs appreciator.
You had that by your hand. Buff Ziggs. Hasn't been buffed though.
Yeah, this was from MSI. So the Mad Lads actually went and did it. But Ziggs in bot lane often really likes to be paired with hard engage to make his life easier. That said, on the more recent patch, obviously, he did receive the Q buff. Means that the bomb acquires its targets more easily. And as we suggested, it was, you kind of have to do it. Take away the Tom Kench.
Even if the 6 will be paired with some weird cooking down in the bot lane, it's just good. It's just good mission to take it away, making sure it won't be happening because it has been very hard to deal with, especially if we see Stenna start to go from the fasting to the CSing, and it's just even gain strength from that technique. So the Gwen being banned away, very good ban here, obviously, because it would have been locked in up against the Ornn. Ornn is a very tanky guy. Gwen is very good at killing tanks, so Ornn would be having a good time up there. The Vi being taken away as well, and removing some single target damage there, which is very, very reasonable when you have an more 180 carry on Scream in the Jinx.
Yeah, it's just the possibility of being able to go like Vi Ahri on B4, B5. Potentially very scary. So Tempest Gaming locked that one away. And I was too busy talking about Ziggs to actually point out that that's a rel locked in. Again, if you're not keyed up on the UKEL, Buzzy played 3 games of it in the grand final. Buzzy was finding crazy engage after crazy engage in the series where they played against Ruddy and they lost that first game. In game 2, they were losing as well. It was a magnificent flank from Buzzy's rel that brought them back into that series.
Rel, very strong champ as well. Could have been Flakes, but as the Nocturne gets locked in, we now know where Buzzy will be playing that rel. It is down in the bot lane. So top lane missing here, the teams for Tempest Gaming, while we are waiting on jungle and maybe mid lane, depending on if we do see that 6 go in the mid lane matchup. We saw Viego in the first game, had some good moments, also had some struggles, will be locked in. A very popular champ so far this tournament. Gooper will be playing that. Now I'm just excited to see what they are going for here, because they have to now show all their cards, as it seems like Tempest Gaming might just be waiting to see what they will counter pick. I mean, Nafari Hover, unlikely to see that locked in. I'm wondering what they'll swap to, because I'm out of ideas. I don't know what will work with that comp. It is just going to be the standard as here. Yeah, so you take a meta mid laner. It now shows, yes, the 6 will be going bot lane with the center. Interested to see how that plays out. Azir, very strong mid laner, one of the few meta mid laners who hasn't been banned. The reply though, what will it be up in the top lane for Tempest Gaming?
You know what? Trying to hazard a guess of what Bear Tree is going to pick in a given game is basically pointless. He's played all sorts of things. I would not be at all surprised to see the set. He's played Urgot. He has played basically every pick under the sun, and it will be the set. I don't think we've actually seen it from him in the UKEL, but into this situation, especially if Rasmus can potentially, put Rice on notice in the early stages of the game, like, people are like, oh yeah, Nocturne clear to 6, then gank with Paranoia. You can just walk into lane and put the unspeakable horror on somebody.
Yeah, the Nocturne, very, very, I don't know if I want to say weak, but the spike he gets at level 6 is massive. It is game changing, really, and we will definitely be looking to see where that Paranoia will go first, because it is a good indicator on champs like Twisted Fate when he was in the meta as well. But for Nocturne, these guys who have global ultimates, how successful is that first ultimate? Because it can be key to see how they will progress in the game. Will they stall out, not gain much from the play, and then lose a couple more minutes and then fall behind? Will they get 1 or 2 kills and just try and snowball that as far as they can? Or will it completely backfire and they die on the turret because they tried to dive and they completely disappear from the game? So that level 6 point, very, very important to see what Rasmus Vea does. I'm excited to see the role he will have in this game and in this team, because this substitution means so much. Because you mentioned the confidence you had in Tempest Gaming with their original roster, very high with how well they've played. But with Rasmus VR, will they get better? Will they get worse? Will they be at the same level? A substitution can change so much, and it's not always easy just plugging and playing with these players. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens because we saw Rich Gang yesterday or a couple days ago. 4 substitutions, all on paper better players being subbed in, big names in the ERL scene as a whole. But they lost a game because they just didn't have the synergy there. It's just not always plug and play.
Exactly. 5 good players does not a team make. And we immediately go on to the Rift and into pause. But that gives me a second to talk some more about the compositions, because the early games kind of looking a little bit slow, actually, coming out into a game here. Like, you look at the composition coming out from 42 Academy. Are we expecting anything to happen pre-6 in these lanes? Not really. Like, Azir can do some poking. On's going to be farming up just fine. Senna Ziggs is going to put some poke damage down, but it doesn't have the all-in potential that a lane that with Ziggs and some kind of all-in engage could have. And so, for me, 42 just seemed to want to be like, okay, we'll just scale up into this game. And I'm okay with that, because they've got a composition that does that really, really well. They've got the Ornn for the ornaments. They've got Azir, who scales fantastically. They've got Senna, who is one of the best scalers in the game. And Viego's not too shabby with extra items as well.
But that leads me into my main question then. Will Tempest allow that? Will they not just stop it early on, power farm to the level 6, and then just throw everything at the kitchen sink at getting an early lead and running with it? Or is it a hard com to kill early on as well for the side of 42 Academy?
It is. I am so glad you asked that. Tempest are absolutely going to try and hit the gas pedal as soon as they can. And I actually think you might want to look out for a potential level 6 happening around mid lane. I feel like, especially if Kusai can hit 6 first, then Draconics might be in for a very bad day, because this player, again, if you give him an inch, he will shove you back to your tower, he will acquire CS leads, and yeah, as I alluded to, sometimes he can push a little bit too hard with that. But as long as Rasmus is, within arm's reach to help his mid laner out, keep him in a relatively safe, stable position, then this mid lane in particular could really, really scale this game out.
Yeah, anything can happen, and it seems like the game might be happening just soon. And exactly as I said it, we are back on the Rift. Let's see if any early wards will be placed to spot out their opponents this time around. Team Tempest, or Tempest Gaming rather, sorry. First game here on the big stage. I think a lot of expectation coming in. The praise I've heard from you really speaks a lot to what I expect of this roster now. And the way that Ruddy performed just Monday, that was the second seed of the UK. The first seed is better than that. I think the whole RPS could be in trouble of just being taken over by the UK. I'm not happy to say that, but I will say it because at the moment it seems like it could be the truth. But we have to see if Tempest can live up to the expectations we have now put on them and their region as a whole.
I'm still holding the pin in it because we need to see how well Rasmus does, how well he gels with the rest of the team. Bertree, looking to sneak in, get maybe a cheeky ward down. I'm not sure if he spotted Gubber out. I think that they will at least be vaguely aware of the fact Viego's starting top side. Rasmus has gone towards the bot side, so reversed clears, and what I suggested might just come through. The Nocturne potentially trying to put the Ornn on notice in the early game, because of course Set is going to be able to knuckle down and deal some real damage to him in these early levels.
Yeah, and for the first couple levels, we're really just expecting a couple of small trades up on the top side, but on that, not too much. We're waiting for the level 6 for Rasmus in particular. That is one thing we'll note. I will say level 6 in the bot lane as well for Bussy. That could be a lot. You've talked about his engages. Well, Rel certainly has the possibility, and with the damage of a Jinx, to lock down one of these targets. Other than that, I will be surprised if we see too much happen, unless someone just blatantly overextends or makes a bad call. Because then I would expect this game to just be slow until that level 6 point. And then the gas pedal might just be stepped on by Tempest Gaming.
Right now, everything's fairly chill. Junglers, of course, completing their first clears. Scream and Buzzy, as they have always been, not afraid to step forwards, not afraid to try and push this wave in. And keeping an eye towards mid, though, because Kusai does have that pressure, does put him at potential risk, however, from Gubber trying to step in.
And as nothing is really happening in this game so far except for farming, I do want to ask you, Brackets, do you have any fun facts about any of the players? Has anyone done something crazy? We had yesterday Touch, who mentioned the fact he has been second place, I believe, in Love Island Norway, the reality program. Obviously, you have Love Island in the UK as well, so you should know it. Do you know any fun fact about any of the players from your UK team yesterday?
Sadly, nothing to that level. That's.
I mean, it is a very weird fact about a pro player in esports, but.
True. No. Interestingly, the most fun fact I would probably have is actually towards Ruddy, and well, I'm covering them on Friday, so.
You want to save it?
Oh, yeah, we'll save it for there.
Bummer. I mean, you already put out one fun fact, the fact that Dempsey is the owner of 42 and he's playing for the academy in this tournament. I find that to be quite a fun fact, and as you say, he will be able to hold his own, and we'll see in this game. He has a lot of pressure on him playing this fasting center. You do end up having a lot of damage to do in the team fight. Your positioning will be key. Center, a very squishy champ. If I'm not mistaken, it is the champ with the lowest base HP in the game, as of right now, at the very least. So, being cut out, you don't need to overstep by much.
Battery trying to knuckle down, but watch out. Gubba's on his way in.
Yeah, this could spell trouble if Battery does get CC'd up. Able to walk it all off for now. That Spectral Maw goes wide, and that means he's out to safety.
Rasmus is just going to try and do that farm to 6. I don't mind it. Already got the pickaxe in inventory. We'll be able to get the Iron Spike whip pretty quickly as well. And Kusai has been left alone for the most part. Is able to shove in. And you see, he's already building up that CS advantage over Draconics.
Yeah, very good focus. That made an annoying noise that Nico's going, what in the world was that? And while Rasmus is just power farming towards that level 6, I will say it's not quite Levi 2017 pace with Paranoia 5 minutes into the game at the Worlds up against Fnatic. But it should still be a good pace. He's hit 36 million so far on his way to his second clear, I will say. But with the buffness being up, it's not a full clear, obviously. As it will be quite a few minutes until those are back up on the map. Has Rico wants to get that pickaxe, and should be running to his Croc soon to try and secure those.
This situation actually reminds me the fact that Tempest are the sort of team that play to their opponents. So the violence that I expected to come out from them hasn't in this game. Because, well, last time I saw them, they were playing against Ruddy. And Ruddy are a team that like to skirmish. They like to get their fights down early. And of course, that meant that Tempest did as well. In this situation, 42 Academy, they're looking to just farm it out. And Tempest, they're not uncomfortable doing that either.
And that just shows signs of a good team, right? If you're able to play multiple styles and still beat your opponents at it, it's a strength. It's a sign of strength if you're able to pull that off. Because many teams find their identity and then they say, we will play the style of League of Legends. We'll go for the early game. We'll just play for scaling, or we'll play for a bot lane or whatever. But a strong team can play multiple different styles. So if they succeed here, it's definitely a good sign for Tempest, outside of obviously just getting the win. As Scuba looks to take this Scuttle away. Rasmus VR is currently level 5. We can see the power level of the set versus the owner in the top lane. Battery doesn't care what Rise has to say. He will just take the tier 1 plate.
The plate will go down, and Drake has been started up. 42 Academy looking to pick this one up. Yeah. Kusai is first out of mid though.
Cooper level 6. The problem for Kusai though is he's very low. So if he goes in, he could be killed before he actually is able to get that pop plus off. So they back off. With Rasmus not being level 6, you don't quite have the tools to look for any weird, peculiar flank. Nico knocked in obviously a very strong combo in the team fights, because it's hard to see a Nico flank if you can't see anything in general when the Paranoia is on. So I would be expecting to see that quite a bit in the fights, just to allow Kusai the ease of execution on his flanks.
Definitely, and that along with the fact of, well, Battery can often be looking for flanks as well. Buzzy can be looking for them as well. As long as there's a solid 3-man unit centering around, Scream, then looking for flank angles is very easy for basically any of these members from Tempest Gaming. And that Paranoia will be able to facilitate. Speaking of...
here it comes. Let's see what happens. No!
Not quite in range.
Yeah, not quite in range. That feels bad, because we talked about it. Now nothing just happens. That means 2 more minutes until you're actually able to do something in the game with the Paranoia. That's a big cooldown this early on. So definitely well done there for 42 Gaming to survive that situation. It was Draconics able to just slide and glide away. Oh, that Nico skin, man. Stop doing that. It's so noisy. And why is it so loud on a spectator? Everything for me is the perfect volume until Nico started saying... I mean, annoying. Regardless, the Herald is up. And Rasmus, he has headed there instantly. He is on a ward, but I doubt there will be any contest, as we do see Goober is sitting on his bot lane Raptors. So, or red buff rather, it might be. No, the Raptors just being killed. The red buff now started. We'll get this for free. Drake has already been taken in the favor of the Academy, as we saw, yeah. But Battery had already used the showstopper, so unable to follow up. Did have the flash, but we'll hold on to it. Won't be surprised to see him trying to abuse it in the next couple of minutes. Just... I mean, was that just to scare him off? Was that a jump scare late Halloween or prank or whatever?
Yeah, that was a jump scare to try and cancel the TP. Unfortunately, Rice doesn't fall for it. So we will continue with a killless game, which... I was not expecting to see 9 minutes in.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I just had to think about that for a couple of seconds because we did expect the early game to be slow. But when Rasmus got the level 6, we then expected things to happen. And they were about to happen. But Draconics just played it so well. Was able to survive the play that Tempest wanted to make. And that just slowed the game down even more. The neutral objectives have been taken. So in that regard, we're still moving pretty fast. I think a play on the top side here would be good. No flash on the rise.
No flash.
Yeah, I think he's just dead in this situation unless he's tanky enough to survive. The fear will come through.
Bellows breath.
He will be pulled back as well. Yeah, I don't think he has a way out of this. He should just be pulled back. Haymaker is available. First blood for Rasmus Vea, the substitute, to pick that one up. And that's a good start for him. It is by no means easy to be a substitute. So good to see him get that momentum going for himself. Has the paranoia up. And this could snowball if Rasmus now takes a camp, then looks for another gang. If that's successful as well, that would mean a lot of gold. And he can just continue building the solid lead.
Gobber are lurking right now, however, inside of the jungle. Spots out Kusai. Tangle Bob will be able to keep him safe.
And what Cooper did there was take the Raptors away, so he was able to get a camp away from his opponent's jungler in response. First blood, definitely the big uprise, and Battery has been focusing down these plates, able to claim 3 so far within the first 10 minutes. In the bot lane, with the roams from Bussy we've seen, it is understandable that Scream has lost a couple of plates, and against the 6 center with the heavy push, this turret might not stand for long, as the satchel charge could very quickly take it down.
Absolutely. But to his credit, Scream still up in CS towards a freebie, so not doing too badly for himself in the grand scheme of things. And Rice, I mean, it's not going to get easier for him. Once Battery finishes an item, and considering we see the Hearthbound axe, quite likely we see him go towards Trinity Force on Battery.
Maybe a Strike Break as well. That was what I was thinking initially when I see that component. Level 6s have been hit in the bot lane, so now is when I'll expect to see Bussy go for something every now and then. I do believe the Metal Storm might be on cooldown. Looks like it. Or by the looks of things, it is. And with Goober being around, spotted on the wall, I do believe that he just took that down with the sweeper. Bussy won't go for the play. No, Magnetic Storm is up. It's just the icon that's a bit baity. It is off cooldown, so he could definitely go for a play at any second. The 6 with the flash, I think there might be a chance that he was not able to get out despite it.
2 games, 2 times baited by Nico. It's like, wait, Nocturne doesn't have teleport.
You're being cooked by the Nikos, man. They are baiting you heavily. Let's see what Bussy does here. Does he want to go for the play? Hopefully for them, they do not. As Goober is just around the corner for 42 Academy. They would love to have him run straight into his waiting hands, but instead they turn towards the Drake just to even out that Drake score. We've had very few souls in this tournament, and this is the reason why, because, you know, the team that gets the first Drake rarely gets the second, and then it just ping-pongs back and forth.
Raid and trade alike, Duckling, as we go onto an Infernal Rift for this game.
Interesting.
Well, Tempest, again, only been 1 kill in the game thus far, a freebie.
Ooh, they're in trouble in the bot lane. Flash and heal already used. It doesn't even matter, though, as this will be 2 kills into the hands of Tempest Gaming. And this is exactly what they need, Brackish, to be able to start snowballing.
Perfectly assigned onto the people who need it as well. Another for Rasmus and 1 for Scream as well. Got bullied in these early stages, of course, because Bussy was out onto the map. But now Herald will get dropped. Now Gubba's got to be careful, because they can just dive this one.
A good shield with the Dawning Shadow, as Bussy does survive thanks to the crash down shield as well. Herald charge came through. That means 3 plates in total with the damage from Scream as well. So 3 plates claimed 2. It was just 1 more kill this time around. 2 kills earlier, so 3 kills in total of the play. Fantastic situation. 2 kills in Scream. Rasmus is still ahead. It's perfect.
This is exactly what I was talking about with Tempest Gaming. Once they start to build an advantage, they will build it up, build it up, build it up. Rasmus gets the first kill. He then finds the angle to leverage that pressure towards bot lane. Yes, first turret will be given across, but it's a Ziggs. Like, realistically, if you're running Ziggs, if you don't get first turret, then you're doing something wrong.
I should definitely be disappointed when the turrets you're playing up against have around 17% less health because you one-shot it with that satchel charge. So, as plates are about to fall, the current state of the game is 2,000 gold lead in favor of Tempest Gaming. So they've been the only one getting the kills as well. CS leads in their favor across the board pretty much as that. It's a super mega death rocket from Scream. Beautifully sniped, says thank you very much. 3rd kill of the game. This Jinx is turning out to be a massive problem.
And Scream, the level of confidence he has to go into that 1v2 lane, he knows he can't be dove. Like, what's a Ziggs Senna gonna do under tower? As long as he doesn't get poked too low and be at risk of dying from the Mega Inferno Bomb, he can just keep farming up. He's been farming up a Storm, doing fantastically well despite the 1v2 situation. And now he's got 3 kills to boot and can really boost Tempest Gaming's snowballing in this game. And all the while, that was through enabling Buzzy to leave the lane.
Yeah, it's starting to look rough as the plays continue to go in their favor for Tempest Gaming. They're able to pick up the second Rift Herald as well. Just allows them to open up the map even further. It won't be long until the top lane tier 1 and bot lane tier 1 falls. The mid lane tier 1 really is the only standing fortress of the outer rim for 42 Academy. Here comes the Paranoia again. They want more plays. Can use it on that Senna clone. But the denial of vision. Oh, he did actually use it. My mistake. I now got baited by the Nico. I thought Nocturne was topside.
Nope. Yeah, that's Kusai.
Oh, Kusai, man. You prick. Baited me so heavily. And there goes the massive hope from this game just opening up completely wide. And it is very rough right now, brackish for the latter team.
Reddit, run from it. We saw Ruddy on Monday take 2 games down, and this is why Temporal and I predicted 2 more UKL wins today. Tempest Gaming, utterly dominant in the National League, and they're looking to bring that dominance into the RPS as well. It's looking so good for them right now. 3K up, 4K nearly, in fact, at the 16-minute mark. If production, we can have a look at the individual gold as well. You can see 1,000 gold up for Scream, despite being 1v2'd. Kusai is up in gold. Rasmus is up 1.3k. In fact, the only slight gold difference is like 100 up for Senna on Demps on Senna.
I feel very ambivalent about this. I don't know how to feel because the UK team is doing well and I predict them to win this game. That's great. But they're playing my Danish Garden Gaming right after this and they are dominating right now. I'm scared with what will happen in the next game. I'll be watching that one closely for sure. Tempest Gaming, man, this is looking good. This is a good League of Legends team. They know what they're doing. And they are just calmly building their goal lead, getting the objectives, denying the waves, opening up the map more and more as we go by. They will surely get this next drag in 20 seconds alongside this bottom lane tier 1. And there's just nothing Ryze can do about it. Battery ignores him. Able to finish it up regardless. Paranoia comes through.
It's Buzzy.
He has no way out. He is just dead in this situation. Can't even call the on-horn back, and Rasmus Vea now on a killing spree. This is not just dominant, it is... What's worse than being dominated? You're being slaughtered here. It's a massacre.
And this is Tempest Gaming playing their style. They start with the advantage, they snowball, and depending on the speed that you're trying to play at, they will either gradually choke you out of the game, or they will simply outfight you and beat you across the map that way. This is looking to be a fairly quick close if things continue going the way that they are. A freebie.
This fight could feel like it could be one of the last hopes. Let's look at it, man. The damage is already too gross. It's 70 minutes in. Here comes the showstopper, and it might just stop any chance that 42 Academy had of getting back into the game. The rocket might go wide, but the fight goes the right way for Tempest Gaming. Double kill into the pockets of Scream. Deconix dies as well underneath his turret. That's a clean ace. Clean ace at 18 minutes. 12-0 on the scoreboard.
There ain't even a Baron to take yet, Duckling. This is the Tempest Gaming that we have seen throughout the UKEL 4 nations. Aside from hubris causing them that one game in the regular season, there's a reason that I have been speaking so highly of this team. And it's not even just Kusai. He's just been a role player in this game. 1-0-2 on the Nico, building up the CS advantage, making sure Jaconix couldn't join any of these plays. It's Rasmus who's been making most of this happen. It's Scream who's been a big beneficiary. Beartree has been keeping Rice suppressed. And 42 Academy, it doesn't look like they have any real means of getting into this game. Ziggs really struggles when he can be hard engaged upon. You've got a 3-0-6 Nocturne coming for your face every time Paranoia's up.
I am horrified for what this team can do in the tournament. The only saving grace for me is the fact they subbed in a Dane. That's at least somewhat decent, because at least the Dane is doing well, right? He's playing a phenomenal game as a substitute. Very, very impressed by Rasmus Vea so far. And this team looks fantastic, man. They look absolutely incredible. I'm saying this about a UK team. I cannot believe it. It hurts my soul, but I have to say they are looking phenomenal so far. In 42 Academy, I don't know what they can do. I really don't know what they can do to get back into this game. It feels hopeless.
If they can scale it out, if they can stall.
But you're 8k behind. You're not even 20 minutes in.
No, this is a big if, Duckling. If they can stall the game out, if they can stop bleeding, or at least they can minimize the bleeding until the point where Azir can maybe hit 2.5 items, then maybe they can find a favored fight. But Tempest Gaming are doing what they have done. This game has been, well, started out slow, and they are just pushing forwards, taking every little thing that they can. They are not overstepping at all, and they are choking 42 Gaming out of their jungle, back towards their base. Baron is up, and Tempest Gaming have already started it off.
Of course they have. They are so far ahead. They want it all, and they want this fight as well. Oh my god, it is so gross. Close your eyes. This is not for children. It's PG-13. 4 more kills into the hands of Tempest Gaming. This is for... I'm speechless, man.
The UKEL villain arc is in full effect, Duckling. 2 wins for the Ruddy Painkillers, and it's looking damn well like Tempest Gaming are going to storm the Rift in their first game. A tower and a single solitary Drake being the only signs that 42 Academy were even here.
This isn't real. This isn't happening. Why are the UK so good?
Oh, it's happening.
Why are they this good? No. What? I am shell-shocked. Look at the engage. It's perfect.
Look
from
at Buzzy.
It is phenomenal.
Again.
As a rel enjoyer myself, it couldn't be better. He gets the chain as well. You have no time to react. Nothing to do. You are just dead.
Hang on. Beartree, you trolled Buzzy there. Face breakering 2 people out of the Shattering Strike? Bro, what are you doing? It didn't matter, by the way.
I mean, they can run into the fountain, it wouldn't matter. They would still get the ace before they die. It's 11,000 gold.
22 minutes.
Gold.
Okay. 42 Academy heard me, I guess. They are going to try and get at least some more towers. Maybe they can secure themselves a kill before the game ends as well. But Tempest Gaming, they play across the 2 lanes. They will now have 4 people walk in onto the inhibited turret. There is no real way to stop them. They've got waves. The only thing that could be better for them here is if they had mid and bot lane waves synced, which they can do. As long as they clear it out quickly. Never mind.
It's a free pick.
They're going in.
And yeah, they're gonna go for more. They want it all here. I think they want to end the game, and they certainly can if they just close this fight out cleanly. Not one death so far, and doesn't seem likely to be happening. The turret will be taken. The kills will be acquired. Tempest Gaming, man, this is phenomenal. It is so clean. How is this a National League team? in our own little region. I cannot believe it. How do the UKEL play like this? You're the UK. You're supposed to be a joke. You're phenomenal.
We make jokes. Doesn't mean we are jokes. And also worth noting, we want to step out for a second. This is a roster of extremely tenured players. Beartree, Kusai have been around forever. Buzzy as well. Scream came in onto this roster from Tunisia for this year. And this team just clicked from day one. Initially with Dunlosi, but now with Rasmus as well. They are absolutely on fire. They are storming across the rift. Everybody get your raincoats because, well, there's a slight chance of rain. There's a slight possibility of precipitation.
19-0 on the kill scoreboard. 42 Academy have not gained a single kill. Tempest Gaming have crushed, destroyed, deconstructed 42 Gaming Academy in every single possible way. This is like watching San Marino play against France. Never mind, change that. San Marino actually starting to play some decent football. This is watching Gibraltar against France, where France beat them 14-0. This is not happening. I cannot believe my eyes. Can they find their first kill here?
Okay.
I doubt so as the Pop Blossom deletes the center. Dempsey is gone. He's out of there. And the same goes for the rest of the roster. They got a kill. They got something. They can get Scream as well, to be honest. They could do something here. But the Emperor's Divide goes wide. He will fall as the Sonyas will only buy a brief couple of seconds. Rasmus VR heals up. The turret, does it reset? No, it's been tanked. It's perfectly played still. They've gotten 2 kills back. The game isn't ending. Tempest Gaming having a bit of fun, and yet they're still winning the fights.
They go a little bit hyphy and will give up some kills. A slight mark to tarnish what has otherwise been an utterly dominant performance from them. Tempest Gaming. We like being the villains here in the UK. And, well, if this isn't a statement to the rest of the RPS, we have sent 2 very good teams to this tournament. If you want any hope of promoting to Division 2, you gotta get through us.
Hopefully we will, right? Garden Gaming will stop you guys just next game. Don't worry, it will certainly happen. Just keep believing. What? This is fantastic. I mean, quite clearly that play was quite stupid to go for, but still it worked out because they are just so far ahead. All right, they're hitting them with their wallets. This is what is happening at this moment. They don't need to play. Are you joking me, man? You are absolutely joking me. This isn't real. Scream just snipes him like Wild Turtle back in the good old days of 2015. This will close out the game. I have no doubt about it. They'll run it down the mid lane. And the showstopper gets cancelled. Oh, that's the biggest outplay you've had this game, 42 Academy. As Kusei will look for something. That's a perfect time tangle. Bobs. It is phenomenally played. Rasmus thrown underneath the fountain and will go down. But so will the rest of 42 Academy. As Scream is just cutting through them. There are no resets to be had. There is no second chance. 42 Academy, you've been crushed. And in just 26 dominant minutes of League of Legends, the game is over and the UK strike through for the 3rd time this game. Or the 3rd time this group stage. I'm losing my words here. I am malting so heavily because that performance was too good to be true. I cannot believe it, Brackish. My region is doomed, man. Denmark is not going to beat this.
Lightning strikes on the rift as Tempest Gaming make their presence known in the RPS. I've been waiting to see, and your reaction only fuels my enthusiasm for this team.
Yeah, the next game is going to be Garden Gaming up against this team, by the way. So if you're a Dane, put your children to bed. They should not be watching this game because it's going to get grim. I don't know how they can beat that. Such a good performance, man. Such a good performance.
Can I point out as well, just to really rub salt into the wound,
yeah, go on
Monday, Ruddy Painkillers played against the 1st seed out of Denmark, DMG Denmark, and beat them.
I know that. And I don't think we need to talk more about it because the past is in the past. You can only shape the future.
That's very true.
That is very true. So hopefully Garden Gaming will grow some nice flowers all over the corpses of Tempest Gaming in the next game. And if that doesn't happen, I won't be seen anymore this broadcast. I will be crying in my bed every time they want me to come on because I cannot face the embarrassment of the UK beating us this heavily. They dominate. I mean, the Monday's game was somewhat close. It was a bit back and forth, but Ruddy were the better team in that game. I will say that. But that was our first seed. This is our second seed, and your first seed looks, at this level, a 10 out of 10. They had this one fight that wasn't perfect, and that was because they were 11,000 gold ahead. They thought, let's just dive on a two turrets. Why not have some fun? And they still won the fight 4-2. I don't have more to add. I'm scared, Brackish. Just anything you want to add before I throw it to a break and we're done for the day?
Brack's a happy boy, and I look forward to the next game where my good buddy Temporal can hopefully be a happy boy as well.
Yeah. I mean, he hopefully won't be a happy boy. I hope he leaves with a tear running from his face as he sees Denmark wins 2 games in a row. Regardless, it's just the rain. I mean, you have a lot of that over there in the UK. That's it for me and you, Brackish. I can't take the UK performing this well anymore. I have to go now. Thank you so much for joining me, though. It has been incredible fun. When the break will end, we will have a banger of a matchup as Garden Gaming go up against the phenomenal, I do have to say that, Tempest Gaming. Thank you so much for watching our first 2 games, Brackish. It's been loads of fun having you with me on the caster desk, and let's see what happens after the break. I'll be watching very closely.
Oh, yeah.
Hello everyone, and welcome to some more NLC RPS games. My name is Tibbs, and I'm joined by Temporal for the last 2 games of the night. How are you doing so far?
I think I'm holding on better than you are, Tips. Sorry about that last game, but can't say we didn't warn you on Twitter. Thanks, Brack and Duckling, for walking us through that one. And yeah, as Brackish mentioned, it's leaves in hot water time. Thank you very much. You can't quite get the steam on camera there, but I am I'm enjoying this tournament so far. Yes, and more UKEL specials coming up in our next game. I think production alluded to, and hence the gloating and the smugness from myself. We're going to have a look at the predictions.
Yeah, predictions up there. I'm not doing too hot right now. You have a pretty good start to the day.
Oh, I didn't notice you'd got Epic Avalanche in there. Hey, oh well, never mind, eh? Chaos had a pretty good showing in game 1, if you did not catch that, audience. Tempest took game 2 pretty handedly. I think you can have your Finnish pride, Temps. Yeah. That is okay. You're holding on to it. Bit more split against Danish finalists and regular season winners in Garden Gaming up next. So we'll have to see who's right there.
Yeah, they had a really strong showing in the regular season from what I've heard. In the playoffs, not as hot, but they did pick up a game against DMG Denmark in so far, obviously a little bit up in the air. Ruddy last night on Monday did really well against Denmark. So we'll see how that will play out later on, or actually just after we get the draft done and get on Rift.
Ooh.
It'll be exciting.
Very exciting. I'm ready to see more regional dominance. I'm really enjoying sort of the storyline so far, because traditionally it's been Sweden and Denmark dominated in the NLC regions. Yeah. Not so much right now. Not really so much.
Us Finns and Icelandic teams and the UK teams have been a little bit of second fiddle, but yeah, we'll see how it goes with bringing back those regional rivalries. It'll be so fun as we get into the draft here. Tempest on the blue side and Garden Gaming on the red side here.
All right, blue side still my personal preference at the moment. We will get those champions just moved over slightly in just a second. Yeah, Hyper, a name known to the United Kingdom, one of ours frequently appears in the UK scene. So there's something of a little bit of rivalry here. But yeah, Garden Gaming had a really great showing during playoffs, only dropping in a shock loss to the lower bracket early on, getting their revenge. Can't remember quite the team that came 3rd or 4th that they fell against, and then a close series against DMG DK that we saw yesterday. Team had a really good run, except versus Ruddy. Banning away control mages here. This is Kusai's bread and butter. Interesting to see. Like, MKL's a really good AD carry. Tempest self-banning a lot of the things Scream has played, and of course Hyper's Riven never gets to see the Rift. If you follow his Twitter, you'll understand why.
Yeah, I get excited when Carvey sent me that too long didn't watch about Garden Gaming, and I saw they top laner playing Riven. Sadly, we don't see that, but there's a lot of spice from this roster you can see. There's like Volibear, Staff, Tremere, some spicier mages down in the bottom lane, but so far those bans have been on the side of Tempest, as I said, a lot of target bans. Garden Gaming more on the meta side. Rail coming in first for Boozy, I believe.
Yeah, nearly certainly Buzzy. I think Rasmus will play this as well, so the flexibility is open, but Tempest picking this up 3 times in a row in finals, just 3 quick losses for Ruddy. So even though the teams are both excellent, a huge way to start off the draft. Safe engage, one way in, nice and easy. GG responding with some other sort of global picks. Not sure if Jace is Biscard or Hyper's personal favorite. Hyper, not too bad at the Jace. We'll see if that classic summer rotation of Maokai Jace comes through.
Yeah, Maokai, of course, at long range, engage and poke. Just those potatoes thrown into brushes. Actually, Renata coming with that Maokai. We saw a really engage in Worlds with the Maokai combination, just giving that pinch Chinese team in finals. And Syndra coming in, or it's a hover. Rule number 1
it's a hover.
It's a hover. About hovers.
The Renata's great against engaged supports and bottoms, so this might be one of the times the rel's flexed away. Buzzy has constantly played supports with losing lanes, won anyway, and then like expressed the rest of his champions throughout the team fights where maybe they have a bit more edge, a bit more pick potential. So still not sure where this rel is going, despite like, you know, if you were just like on a flat level playing field, like the jungle is now heavily encouraged. The Syndra coming through, it's not up against the Orianna for once, but Kusai's been really good at sort of managing engages with this, slowing things down, so it's a great pickup against the Maokai.
Yeah, fairly good line as well, and Varus for Scream, so a lot of engage tools if that rel is going towards spot side, and even if it is in the jungle. A lot of good pick, a lot of engage from those two champions.
Discard. We're gonna wait to see about that one, but yeah, in the UK we had a really heavy Xayah meta through our regular season. That's transitioned into everyone playing Varus now. The Xerath coming through, artillery mages, really great against your control mages, pushing them out of lane, disappearing some minions, and then being able to attack the Varus later on. If the Maokai gets a twisted advance, we could even see the aim hack. It's not so much a hack as like holding down the F key of your jungler that has teleported onto the opponent you wishes to deal damage to his face, and it means the arcane barrage always lands. Second phase, we've just seen Rasmus's Nocturne. That's going to be gone. Would expect maybe his Viego to disappear as well.
Yeah, that a lot talked. First ult wasn't that hot, but after that really got on the rolling against that 42 gang roster. Ashe, the ban from side of Tempest, of course a little bit of a lane matchup for Varus that he really doesn't want to deal with.
Does hint as well that Tempest are going to go for another range support, something that Renata isn't great into. The Ashe they could have taken themselves as that range engage support. Suffers against the Xerath though, so you can instead take something like a Lux that's a little bit more durable, shields itself and others. That allows you to win bot lane again against Renata, but they're not going to let Ashe come back through.
Yeah, as you said. Also, the Viego left open from God and Gaming, so the German taken away the combo engage with rel, not as strong now, but we'll see. The Viego has been a lot prioritized in this RPS so far. Fiora taken away from Hypa, so really doesn't want those Street Fighter champions up top for him, for Tempest, and now we see where does these the next picks come for Garden Gaming.
I'd be picking AD here for Garden. I think they can't have the Ashe anymore. Maybe something they were trying to slide along the Xayah instead. Not going to go for anything sort of deep skill expression instead. That bit of evasion away from Scatter the Weak, Chains of Corruption, the rel herself. I think Tempest probably should be going for the Lux or something similar in support here. Try and make the Renata struggle as you push the wave in. Then something reasonably safe topside, but not too safe. Else Hyper will be leaning towards the Fiora on R5.
Yeah, sadly Fiora taken away, but we'll see what Tempest goes here. Ornn in the top lane, safe scaling tank up there. Also the Sejuani. Well, yeah, they're just hovering.
Yeah, they are going to do the Buzzy special where he's going to play the losing lane, it seems, and just go for it anyway, even though he may be slightly disadvantaged. The Vi, Rasmus and Dunlosy have both played that reasonably well in the past. You know, it's the Dunlosy special to run all the way up and down. Ooh. All right, instead, a little bit more excitement.
Yeah, Lee Sin, I mean, onto that Xerath that's really immobile. If the Lee Sin gets in there, that's gonna be really annoying times for Bisgard. And now we get to see what Hyper will be picking up in that top lane.
Fiora in my mind. Oh, Camille also. So we're talking split push threat. We're talking high amounts of true damage, HP shred. Wouldn't be surprised to see this going at all.
Ooh,
yeah,
Aurelia.
similar. It's fighting time. I think the Aurelia might struggle a little more than Camille or Fiora may have. Oh, Fiora, the last ban there, that got completely under my nose. Never mind. Yeah, we're talking Hyper. We're talking all in. We're talking violence in the top lane.
Yeah, probably those before first back. Ornn can get some okay trades, but once Aurelia gets that passive stacking, gets one scepter from her first back, that's gonna be so annoying to deal with. That lane is over pretty much at that point.
Yeah, but it's hard, right? The anti-heal is reactive only. With the Bramble Vest, one can't really have an Oblivion Orb or the sword that does the same. So in that case, you're sort of left in a position where she can just hit the wave and ignore you, heal to full, trade nastily. We'll look to Hyper for some pretty exciting Aurelia outplays. But across the board, little bit of front-to-back management. Tempest should be fine in that regard. The Nature's Grasp is out of range, but with some careful management, they should evade it. Garden Gaming looking to strike from far away, then choose their all-in with the Renata, with the Aurelia for a big burst of damage.
Yeah, these fights are going to be exciting. Garden Gaming, obviously, with that Aurelia might be wanting to play a little bit on the side lane, but these are going to be so explosive fights. With especially if Ornn has to lane against the Fiora and has TP in late, they're really in a disadvantage at the start of those fights. But we'll see how that starts to go once we get on the Rift.
Debs, now that we've seen draft, do you wanna revise your prediction?
I mean, I can't even hide behind the national pride in this game. I just heard that Garden Game is really good, but after the first one, Tempest. I don't know, Temporal.
I'll put you on the spot. It's okay. It's all right.
I might take the go 0-4 here today.
Garden Gaming are like really good. It's just a shame that Tempest are really, really, really good. And we'll have to see how those two combinations come together, because there's nothing like an underdog story. And I hear in the background audience, as you may well, it's the sound of Summoner's Rift as we're in for game. Is it game 3 or 4 tonight? I just realized it's not 4 or 6, is it?
Yeah, we only have 4 today. Started those 2 first games of Freefall versus Epic Avalanche, and Chaos War moved to a later date. But so, Tempest Gaming versus Garden Gaming, and nothing. Just a little bit of a.
Yeah, I think only the Lee Sin's even slightly interested in pushing forward to the Maokai at level 1. You really don't want to mess with it. The saplings can be taken if there is a pull setup. It's just not worth the risk of moving in. Might be a late ward here onto the Raptors of Potato Panda. That would be reasonably good. I wouldn't mind Kusai coming across, getting a late ward in there. Oh, look, there he goes.
Yeah, this is something that quite a bit we've seen. Maybe not those early invades, but dropping that late vision in so that you know where the jungler is going to go, and Kusai really getting that late ward in spots to
You
start.
might be going for the late ward. Yeah, it will be the 120. All right, just slightly early. We'll take a little bit of damage for the pleasure, but basic guard.
+9 gold.
Yeah, +9 gold. All right, that's a win if I've ever seen one. That's just short of a caster minion.
Yeah, that's a lane winner for sure there. Also really interesting to see how these first ganks are going to come from the junglers. Lee Sin obviously can do those early 3-camp ganks even. Maybe not as much lately, but we'll see where it goes. Rasmus starting from the bot side, from the chickens as well as Potato Panda did.
Yeah, it's nice and fast on current patch. You can just drop down any AoE ability, and that camp does tend to melt at level 1. Let's see if Buzzy, almost fishing for a stun there, but it's just going to hold the advantage. Varus at level 1 with that Hail of Arrows does a lot of damage from far away, can clip both laners of his opponent's team. Really effective, and generally not someone you want to fight at level 1.
Yeah, level 2 coming in first for the Garden Gaming bot lane, and Shira now just walking up, zoning from those minions a little bit. Obviously, Tempest can just let that wave come in and do not need to contest it for now. But yeah, no early happenings as in the top lane. Actually, Bear3 and Hyper, a little bit of a trade going on, but not much.
Yeah, just small bits for now, like you mentioned. The Aurelia generally wants at least some components before she starts to stick it to Ornn. Will happen sooner or later, and the Blade of the Ruin King really lets her loose in that top side. So we'll hold on for that. Let's check back in with our junglers, splitting the map. So Maokai coming down towards MKL and Shiro here, whereas Rasmus looking to try and cover. Because if I was just playing this in neutral, playing this in solo queue, I'm assuming Potato Panda is screaming up to that top lane. The ward showed him coming back down to bot. So Tempest are in this weird situation where the Lee Sin could try cover top, maybe try and get a counter kill in, but otherwise you're not going to meet the Maokai. You're not going to head them off. So it's a little bit of an unbalanced early game.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a pause there, but once that wave is pushed in by the Aurelia and then the reset has been taken, obviously Lee Sin has a small window after that back when the lane is still quite far pushed up, when Hyper needs to be careful for that early gank potentially.
For now. I think Malco's got to finish his full clear, so they'll have a few more seconds and then a recall in. It's weird, you know. None of these lanes are like completely out of control. I think Kusai's doing a reasonably good job in mid of not taking too much HP damage. You know, where you stand on the wave, the artillery mages do have to cast their skills on the wave, to keep that push up. So by standing off of it, you can try and force that dynamic where it's like, oh, you're gonna shoot at me, and if you miss me, you hit no one. Sort of dynamic, and try and generate gold or push from there, which you shouldn't normally have in the matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to be revolving. Also, Syndra, you know, likes to have some form of push as well, or just needs to answer that Zeroth push, but also wants those splinters and wants a little bit of trading in that sense. Sadly,
yeah, you're right. The splinters will come through quite late because you won't be able to get the stack up by hitting someone twice. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as the game goes. But yeah, actually, Bisgard struggling in the farm department there.
Yeah, 12 or so minutes behind here as Potato Panda looking towards the bot lane here, but Boozy and Scream have been pushed in, and no Lee Sin on this side of map, so this bot lane off guarding gaming should be fine. And actually Rasmus just going towards the top side, going to take those chickens away that now spawn.
Yeah, Bisgard wise to this. Both junglers still on relatively good tracking. So like GG could only really be in the bottom lane there. Now moving off of the crab into bottom chicken. So both junglers moving away from timers where Rasmus goes after this base. Also slightly chaotic. He could go towards his Krugs, but they are the perennially skipped camp of most junglers. So not a huge amount of knowledge there that GG can be confident in as Potato Panda is wrapping around mid.
Kusei no mana here, might have to burn the flash if Maokai comes in, but just decides to take a back on this brush. No, does go forward. Kusei needing to, I believe he needs to. No, Potato Panda doesn't take the W. That would have been risky.
Could have dragged him all the way under the tower there, so maybe a little too much. I think Potato Panda probably a little annoyed at himself they didn't come all the way back from behind the tower. Might have been able to force the flash out of Kusai. With that Tempest, they're going to push out bot. If we look down, Gyro.
Engage towards Gyro, but just to make sure that the Renata cannot freeze the lane here, as Boozy and Scream now actually do force the flash away from Renata, and that's a juicy gank for Rasmus.
Yeah, that's got to be nice. I mean, very unusual that the handshake wasn't used to deny the Rel crash down and just stop that trade. Instead, getting the all-in will allow Tempest to go towards this first Mountain Dragon. This is all of a result of that bot lane trade and Potato Panda being away. But normally, Xayah Renata should be able to dump the wave and get in there without it being frozen. Tempest managed to get this position.
Precarious position here as Boozy nice flash stun on the Gyro, and here comes the crash down. No root on the Scream, and that should be a dead Renata W for a moment, as well as MKL now taking a lot of damage, and that's flash and cleanse away from the Xayah as well. And first blood over to Tempest.
Yeah, all summoners in that bot lane gone now. Tempest realizing the advantage they generated just a few short seconds earlier. Getting that wave in really has awarded them that dragon, awarded them this position as they go to 1-0. And, you know, last game I think was also, you know, slow burner. First 10 minutes. No need to force the thing. We'll have to see if GG score a kill before 42 Academy managed to.
I think the early game was a little bit slower even in that one, but for now, yeah, Tempest Gaming, I mean, if it's the same trajectory, it will be really, really hard to come back from here now. I think the first game against 42, probably a little bit of a false flag here, given how they performed in the Finnish Pro League, did get relegated there, 42 Academy. I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, they might have a rough ride here today and in the rest of the tournament. But hey, Tempest, for now, looking like the world beater.
Yeah, that's true. They are up against Goliath, if they are meant to be David, coming back on a revenge arc. And of course, you know, the ladder's like a really chaotic space. It's lots of best of ones. Yeah. Draft is very different when you're playing like lots of fast games instead of like known opponents. So, you know, it's on 42 to adapt. But GG in this game, very much playing their style. 3 members of Tempest topside. Hyper hasn't seen this coming.
And the on-horn burned, and that's an instant stun lock onto Hyper. Still, Rasmus doesn't get the finishing blow there, and Hyper gets away with the flash. Well played from the Aurelia.
Yeah, they managed to hold on to their life, Hyper. Will have to teleport back if he wants to pick up that wave. Rest of Tempest leaving, but Potato Panda guarding the tab. Betray's actually taking a trade here. Has to flash away himself.
I have
GG.
no idea what happened there, but
Yeah.
health lost by the Born.
Yeah, looks like some tower shots. Maybe clipped the Maokai with some Bellows Breath. Shiro in the bot lane has found Scream.
Yeah, Scream is now in trouble, has to flash away, but does get the ult down and peels away from the situation there. But once again, that's the flash away from Varus and another good target. And Shiro is still looking potentially for another one, but the wave is too big to go in here.
Yeah, it's got to keep him off there. Scream now back with Buzzy. Got his level 6 used already. So there is a minute here. Channeling the Hex Flash. No way. No way.
Does get the stun on Mikkel, and however, there is not enough damage fall off from Scream with that Chains of Corruption used earlier. And as such, you know, a little bit of a chunk to Zaya, but nothing permanent right now.
Yeah, I think 1 or 2 more of those. It's so hard when you're up against this Varus in lane. Even this later game scaling on hit form does so much damage, especially when he can go restore his mana in the river and just hit you from so far away. Potato Panda pinging heavily onto this bot lane. Nature's Grasp is available.
And the ult popped as well as Hostile Takeover. Both our Misa Scream goes away from the situation, and good awareness from the side of Tempest Gaming there to avoid the gank.
Yeah, Garden Gaming not going down without a fight. And they are still in a bit of a commanding lead on this bot lane. That was in trade for Tempest sending Buzzy top. So at the moment, Scream happy to hold this freeze, happy to restore a little bit of CS.
Yeah, should get some here. He did lose quite a bit with the Buzzy roam up top, but should be okay. Varus obviously scales pretty well into late game with the build that he'll be going in this game.
Yeah, we're gonna see. It's gonna be like Aurelia from range. We're gonna have lots of attack speed, probably a wit's end as well, because there is no way to dodge Biscard's damage reliably. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun one to watch. I think like Sin has also read his ADK. I played this a lot in the UKL. It's become a bit of a staple that the Varus, you know, doesn't have to pop off, doesn't have to be the artillery, but definitely is the second threat. And if he's ignored for the solo laners, be at the other team's peril. Lots of attention on the spot side. Buzzy's looking for a fish, but Potato Panda is on the way down again.
Mikkel uses that cleanse, and still Buzzy goes forward. Potato Panda now also around and does get a W onto the rail, and that's a kill over to Renata actually. So once again, 80s is not good. Rasmus goes forward. Oh, the save is not enough from Shiro. However, that's also junglers going down as Scream still looking for more as Shiro has enough HP to walk away from the situation. And Biscard actually looking, does pop the ultimate, and there goes Shiro, gets another kill. Supports 10 into it sometimes, and Shiro has decided, this is the game I'm gonna carry.
2 for 3 in favor of Garden Gaming. It looked like it was so good for Tempest, but Potato Panda on the long rotation down from mid, down from more camps, manages to get the Nature's Grasp in time, delays the play, and Biscard just there enough at the end to tip the favor for Garden Gaming. So let's look at the start. This is the engage. Tempest chose this, and it looks like it's going so well for Garden Gaming on the sort of reset. Buzzy drags Potato Panda back in, unfortunately falls the rail, very one-dimensional, can really only go forwards. An empowered arrow and the absolute mechanics on Rasmus to take out MKL. Potato Panda and Rasmus fall in trade, both junglers very overextended, and while Scream probably could take down Shiro with that red buff, 1 or 2 abilities would be enough. Taken down by the Xerath as we go back to the dragon.
Horn used, that's a double knock up, as well as Buzzy is now following in. However, no Magnet Storm to be used by Buzzy just yet. Hyper gets hit by Leasing You, and Orn just goes forward. Hyper does get taken down, but
the reset.
Renata save. However, Scream gets the snipe, and that's 1 for 1 to Dragon. However, does get picked up by the side of Garden Gaming.
Yeah, Garden Gaming got in there, got the objective, and I think it's the Renata's strength in this composition. Just like the fight in bot lane that managed to be reversed, Garden Gaming once again managed to extend Hyper's life, go 1-for-1 in that situation and really display how the engage from Buzzy that has been Tempest's strength this season can be broken.
Yeah, Conan Gaming really showing that they came here to play, and
yeah, that's a few more kills than 42 managed. We do have a game on our hands.
Yeah, it didn't take 20 minutes to get those. Anyways, as I said, they're the ladder representative, not the Finnish representative here. So I'm sorry, my pal Akas Magas, I'm sorry, you're not Finnish representative right now. When you start winning, then you're Finnish. It's like David Coulthard and
yeah, David Coulthard, Antti Murray. We've done the same to them in the past. British culture, horrible about our sportsmen and women. Sports people. We're just not the best at when they're winning, yeah, go Britain. When they're losing, it's like, oh, Scotland. It's not fair, not the same. We're happy to have all of them in their own way.
Yeah, the Four Nations, also Scotland presented there. So stumble from Kusei, but no immediate follow-up. Nice
I like the movement
here.
Kusai is absolutely rent-free in Bisgard's hands. Those were very free cues for the Xerath, and just not able to land anything in the shooting galley today.
Yeah. So
that's a pure mental edge, by the way. There's no actual game advantage there.
There might be a little bit as Bisgard does get the cancel on Beatrice back for a moment. He'll be actually now might get locked. Okay, has to flash away. Still does get rooted, and that's Bisgard getting some ults done, but not enough damage just yet on Xerath.
Alright, Hyper has been let loose on the spot side with the teleport up. Both teams coming towards the swiftly spawning Rift Herald. With that, Tempest set to lose the first tower of the game. No one right now can go match that. Irelia with the Blade of the Rune King through the Ornn will not be able to stand up without teleports for Tempest. This will be an objective in trade that GG are going to try and dissuade.
Yeah, both Potato Panda and Shiro ready there, but are peeling now away. So Tempest looking to take this one as Shiro. Almost with the cheeky handshake, but not enough. Rasmus ready with the smite. Ooh, Hyper getting a little bit of a chunk, but no enough damage on Kusei right now.
Kusei nearly made it down in time. Not quite reaching the tier 1 though. We'll collect the wave at least and start to equate a bit of the gold. That's a bit of a tough Rift Herald for me, because normally you use it to break a tier 1 tower, you use it to get some gold without any plates up. It's like Hyper just achieved that on his own. So the time not spent farming, the time spent under that Rift Herald, slight disadvantage for Tempest, and we'll see they drop 500 gold on the scoreboard because of it. And then we'll have to keep our eye out. We'll have to see if Tempest can make that Rift Herald worth their while. And I suppose a T1 in mid, slightly better than a T1 in bot. Not going to save it for that dragon coming up.
Opens the map nicely for Tempest here. And also, there's always a threat when you're coming 4-man strong in the mid lane, that if the enemy mid is still standing under that turret, you could potentially take it. But Bisgard with the mental fortitude there to Luke. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to go down with my shit.
Yeah.
There's Nature's Grasp Kusai here.
Actually, it's Rasmus who does get stunned and does get a lot of damage taken, but fancy feat used, as that's a hostile takeover from Shiro. Does get it also on Rasmus, but no follow-up. Kusei, however, does get taken down here by Potato Banner. He is now engaged on the other side, as that's the dead Renata, sadly TP coming in from Birtree as well, but that's a little bit late for the party. Just wants to join, show that, hey, I'm around. That screen goes too far. And there's Ornhorn now back for Potato Panda, and Hyper isn't actually but he's in does land the Q, and it's the turret doing some damage. Not enough here. Tempest getting a few kills more on the backside of the fight.
Yeah, Beartree just about holding on there, tanking the tower up. And while Kusai was aggressed onto Rasmus there to extend him, get him away from the Nature's Grasp, Scream able to follow up when this Varus, 1 item is good, 2 items is great, 3 items is absolute playthrough domination. But even at this stage, you see Kusai just not quite realizing the threat he's in as it rolls forwards from Fog of War. Rasmus takes a whole bunch of damage, fast movement gets him away from the final barrages, and while Shiro does get a nice flash ultimate that will eventually be the death of Kusai, Rasmus just misses the re-engage. All set up for Scream, though, when the Magnet Storm eventually comes down. That's what Buzzy's been trying to do so far. With the Renata cooldowns out, is finally able to do so. And we're not going to talk about this, Scream. That's a few summoner spells that didn't need to be cast.
Just a bit. They do get the
yeah, I suppose eventually Potato Panda will go down.
Yeah.
Hey,
Lee Sin is
GG.
just so
Yeah.
Lee Sin is so hypey champion that I was talking about hyper being in the fight, but obviously they're in the top side playing with the Irelia, taking the turret down, but at the same time, no, Garden Gaming taking the dragon. Was that top lane turret from their side is taken by Tempest Gaming.
Duckling mentioned this last game. It's been the way so far, and I think it just is the way on this patch that no one stacks all 4 dragons unless you're in an incredibly commanding position. You're always slightly more on time for another rotation, a Rift Herald, for a tower in trade. No one wants to spawn the Elder Dragon as fast as possible. It's just a little wasteful if you are ahead. Why would you give your opponents the chance to score a pick, score something weird, get the Elder themselves, get back into the game? So instead, everyone's just going to get a few oceans. There's no rush.
Yes, the handshake from Shiro slightly misses there, and Kusei gets to walk away. But there was a little bit of help on the wings. Scream and Rasmus ready to join if there was to be a fight had. Hyper now actually looking potentially in the bot side as Bertree takes a little bit of damage there. However, Ornn, even if your Aurelia, is really hard to take down.
I think so Bertree's items indicate he's just in side lanes, like he's showing up to not get fined. He's doing a bit of a Marshall Lynch gameplay experience where he's just there so he's not in trouble, so he can collect some waves, get some gold. A Jack show would be required to stand toe-to-toe with this Aurelia, and it would still be a lot of conditions. So much respect. He's aware his item build doesn't allow him even a chance at mechanical outplay. If you outplay, you're like 100 health up, and then you're going to lose all that immediately, no matter what. So Bertree just giving Hyper a lot of space right now.
Yeah, flashing that stun from Hyper, not giving any extra inches for the Aurelia to take these fights. Overall, the map position, it's really close. Obviously, the map a little bit more open for Tempest with that mid tier 1 taken down, but still, that vision control hasn't been pushed too deep into the side of Garden Games jungle.
Yeah, still a bit of a lull state in the second. While the Baron is up, both teams probably not running straight towards it. Both deal a large amount of damage, but with the game so close, so little between these two teams, and both compositions requiring positioning, requiring execution. Neither wants to be truly walk towards. I'd say maybe Garden Gaming's does a bit more, but you've also got this Aurelia on the split push, so why would you force your hand? Neither of them want to defend the Baron pit as much as many common team compositions we've seen this World Championship and this NLC RPS do want to. They want to be on the waves. They want to try and push forwards. They want to try and pick someone out sneakily at the side as Shiro on vision for Rasmus.
Rasmus potentially looking here. Actually does get handshaked here, but quickly ward hops away.
Yeah, that's the sort of play we're going to see both teams going towards. If you caught out sneakily on a wave, if Renata went slightly further up, she'd have found Kusai. Kusai Syndra to be picked out upon. Quite vulnerable at this stage to a Scat of the Week, followed up by an Unleashed Power. I do like Shiro's item choice here, going for the Radiant Virtue, a little extra utility for the team, trying to get the carries near them through the fight rather than offer a bit of luxury move speed. That's going to keep the Renata nice and healthy as well, maybe get you an extra rotation of spells. GG. Really trying to push the boat out here, really trying to make the UK champions sweat.
Yeah, both also Potato Panda going for that Radiant Virtue, so a lot of
81 stacks. That is I believe that's the ultimate. It's not extra ability power, or is it just the scatter? I've played so much Syndra this season. That is not allowed. Okay, it's the ultimate, but not all the extra effects. No, 80. It is Scat of the Week. All right. Production just making sure we can all read the tooltip. Reading does explain the ability. We have a phrase in card games called RTFC, and it means read the card, which is very important. And reading the tooltip does explain the ability. It's very important.
For the censorship. The reading ability is similar to like, you know, doing maths on stream. Casters should never do it.
Yeah, it's important. No, it's important, and you must show you're working. So thank you, production.
Anyways,
All
we're
right.
about 20 plus seconds away from the next dragon.
Yeah,
Maybe
GG
the end of this
priority
Nankai
in
war
mid.
again.
GG get priority in mid. The artillery mage can clear it so far away. Tempest getting engaged upon reverse now.
Potato Panda not quite getting stunned, but Scream does take a lot of damage from Beastguard's ultimate here. Boozy looking for potential engage, but the Syndra
Hyper's going for that tier 2 tower, you know. This is dangerous. Every time Tempest hesitate, a bit more of their infrastructure goes missing. Kusai's got to be so careful in this position. Hyper has flash.
So already down a quarter of HP, but Boozy is there as well. Whilst that's going on, Tempest looking towards the top side of Hyper. Do get the Irelia taken down, but at the same time, Garden Gaming takes the dragon on bot side. With the damage from Mikkel and Beastguard, that shouldn't be a trouble. But hey, the blue side of Tempest Gaming looking towards the Baron potentially here.
Yeah, that cross map, not really worth it to take someone down for getting GG onto Ocean Soul Point. GG now have 20 seconds on the teleport. They've got to try and delay Tempest on this objective take. Buzzy's looking for the re-engage.
He gets it. Shiro and Potato Panda immediately back. Nice kick from Rasmus. That's Shiro almost taking down Mikkel. That gets a perfect pull, however. Still alive. How does this sign not die? Now, however, does go down. And even though Tempest all are so low, no one falls except for the ADC from Garden Gaming.
Tempest split and dive apart to prevent Mikkel from getting a kill on the backside of that. The feathers fly nearly so lethal. There's so many on the ground, but Rasmus, like Insect himself, in behind the AD carry from absolutely nowhere. And while the Baron doesn't go down, that's the fight Tempest were looking for. They wanted more here.
Yeah, just coming in here. No Potato Panda ult here. Really hard for Maokai to come in here, really.
So he's not able to just drop that Nature's Grasp and come across. Buzzy looking at, once again for another fantastic Magnet Storm. And despite flashes away, Chains of Corruption locks everyone up. Rasmus with the Q flash drops Mikkel, Scream and Kusai. Dodging away. If they didn't flash there, they would have undoubtedly fallen. And once the Renata revive is on, everyone just runs away. That's the pick they wanted. It's not the Baron they maybe need.
Yeah, pushing into this Garden Gaming comp is not that easy. Both Saya and Zerath offering a lot of wave clear that will be hard to push through without the Baron buffed minions. But Tempest Gaming still retaining that control over the topside river.
Yeah, they're able to push forwards, get the vision without Hyper here. This assembled 5-man composition from Tempest is able to bully out, but it means they're on a timer in about 35 seconds. Hyper's going to be knocking on that bot lane tower, and Tempest have got to have something to show for it, or they're going to have to burn a teleport.
Yeah, Hyper still having that control over bot side, and now Bertree probably taking it back to join.
This might be the erosion of vision, but actually the Baron's died. Tempest have said, actually, we're going to make you bring the Irelia to us. They're going to wait for a teleport here, else they're just going to keep fighting.
And that's Maokai ult dropped to push Tempest away from the Baron. Well used for that ultimate.
They're
now
probably just going to go start it straight up again. Bertree saves the tower, but it's on Tempest now in the 4v4 to try and make something happen. That minion wave coming towards bot lane tower. Once again, they're on a timer.
Garden Gaming actually has a mid push here, so they're just harassing Tempest away from this wave. TP coming in from Kusei on the backside here, however. Do they get the engage?
This is Tempest out of position. Buzzy's got to find some magic.
Finds on the Beast Guard and also Q from Lee Sin, but not quite getting the engage that they want. However, Mikkel does go down. No, gets the revive from Renata, and on the other side, Beast Guard does go down. Hyper just CC locked. Now Potato Panda in middle of the team, as they do get Hyper there as well. Kusei as well, as Mikkel gets the feather pull, and that's 2 for 3.
Yeah, even though Tempest trade away their mid laner and their top laner's health in that fight, Scream once again at the back, this Varus untouched, able to rip through the Irelia. And now Tempest with one person advantage, only Mikkel out on the map who can do this himself. No ultimate for Shiro's Renata. Tempest start ripping through the Baron.
They are doing a lot of damage to it as Shiro walking up, trying to get that little bit of harass there, and now Yeah, Tempest realizing they can't do this. Mikkel is too strong on the side.
Teleports coming through any second as well. Right, this is how the fight started. You're right, GG got all the way down on mid. And I think this sort of surprised Tempest that they wouldn't be fanning out to maybe catch top lane. Buzzy finds a really nice engage. The Magnet Storm there forcing out Mikkel's ultimate as the scatter comes across, sort of auto aim for you. And this is such great use of the Renata revive there. Mikkel was dead to rights, but with no execute, he's able to stand back up and with the kill, push out Kusai, but Scream in the backline was eroding the rest of the garden while that backline adventure was going on.
And we're back to the position where Dragon is about to spawn. This won't be the soul for Garden Gaming, but Tempest has the full control of bot side river, and really hard for Garden Gaming once again to look towards this. Actually, they're looking towards the Baron.
Yeah, they're pinging top and Baron. Tempest must be here to deny that soul. It would allow the members of Garden Gaming to outdo that front to back. Baron has been started. They're going to leave Scream with all of his percentage health damage there from the Blight, from the Blade of the Ruin King. Danger pings out in mid. The rest of Tempest have arrived, but Scream not being there is given away.
Both Ornn and Maokai ultimates used just to peel away from the position here. Spotted by the does land some roots on the Rasmus and Kusei. They do take a bit of damage here, but no definitive fight here, as both teams do not really want to risk it at this point.
Yeah, no flash forwards from Buzzy, else he might have been able to find the front line here. Pings onto tier 2 towers, might be in trade. Hyper's wave is coming in. Middle go down first, and the 4 members of GG recalling suggest they want to refresh their vision on this Baron. Hyper, the solo lane split push. This game has been pretty fruitful for this Aurelia.
Yeah, has taken a lot of turrets down, and that will not change here, as actually has to burn TP to get away from the top lane. Brush as Tempest were closing down on him.
Alright, without that summoner spell, Tempest, 1 teleport up, might be able to try and make something happen. Before then, quick refresh of vision. They're going to go clear their bot side. That red buff, no doubt on Rasmus's mind. Wants to be as strong as possible. Wants to force something from Garden Gaming. Doesn't want to sleepwalk in towards the Baron and just try and wallet check. It is not that big of an advantage so far this game.
Yeah, it's been a lot of nothings here in this game.
A lot of little things going backwards and forwards, but yeah, no one coming out on top.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting as we're heading towards the later stages of the game here, with Baron obviously all the time being danced around here, as we tend to do in EU. We're still in new region.
We're Baron people.
But at the same time, the Dragons are starting to stack up still. Tempest, only 2 of those, but Garden Gaming, if they do get the position, they do have the soul on next one. But the focus is heavily on both teams around this top side of Baron.
Yeah, I think giving up this Baron now, a real shame. The sort of awkwardness of Garden Gaming coming towards this is a result of that teleport being down from Hyper, else he'd be gunning for that bot inhibitor right now. He wants that blue T3 down. Instead, Bizguard is down there. It takes a little bit longer to clear the wave, has to cast mana, is a bit more sluggish than something like the fighter class of Aurelia. Scream
here. And Bizguard does a lot of damage. That's also Postal Takeover nicely using the stopwatches here, as now Mikkel in a very odd position does get taken down by the Syndra. Unleashed power, but it also really low there, as Shiro does get tagged by Rasmus's Q, and that's a dead Renata if I've ever seen one, and that's 3 nice pickups for Tempest Gaming.
Hyper might go for the 1v5 outplay here. He's not sure what to do. Has started channeling the recall. But yeah, the members of Garden Gaming not together. Hyper was still off on that side wave. And with that, even though Scream is caught out, it definitely wasn't all bait, we promise. Unfortunately, with the numbers advantage, Tempest have played this game together. They've tried to force Garden Gaming to come to them with numbers and not be able to execute this split push strategy. Let's have a look at how this starts. We have Bizguard still coming from bot. That means his ult is on, but the rest of the Xerath isn't here. Scream gets tagged out, gets hand shook while he tries to move towards his team in river. A little bit of damage back over, but with the stopwatch, able to live through. The feathers fly not over the top in preparation, rather afterwards. And with it, Scream already too far in the back line. Tempest able to respond to a little bit of over-eagerness from Garden Gaming.
Very good looking engage to start it off, but the double stopwatch is really hampering that. Reminder of that. I'm glad with the next season coming around, no stopwatches anymore.
Zhonya's is still in
Yeah,
full
nice.
flight though, so if anything, I think it might be worse for my my position as a jungler.
Well,
Mid laners will still be picking up that item, and I am so happy about it. But anyway, Tempest Gaming, happy right now to engage.
very nice. Hostile takeover there as Potato Bandit does get taken down by the execute from Syndra. Dear God, that damage.
Yeah, thank you, production. Did highlight 100 stacks as Hyper also falls. Tempest Gaming coming forwards in numbers now, getting more confident, feeling themselves that Varus at 4 items. Well and truly online, a Guardian Angel. So, you know, we're going to see Scream dangle himself as bait once again. Be comfortable standing back up afterwards.
Yeah, Hyper may be getting a little bit too hyper there. Going 1v5 in the backside when the team is already running away. And they are running away from this mid lane inhibitor turret. They cannot defend it. Shadow gets attacked by the leasing you, but no second part. The body says no this time around for Rasmus, as they are content with taking the inhibitor down. And the dragon, it's spawned already.
Yeah, this is a great timing for Tempest. They will be able to pick up that dragon, deny the soul, and go to double soul point. So whoever comes next will be in that position. And Garden Gaming's composition is not set up to deal with being an inhibitor down. They've been pushing sideways. They've been present out on the map as the key core of their composition. Nature's Grass coming forwards. Bear Tree should be able to block this.
Yeah, both Scream and Kusai standing behind their top laner here, as there was a TP from Hyper in the backside. Ornhorn used and only onto the Irelia. Irelia not really strong enough to take this fight. Rasmus does go really low and Hyper does get onto the carries, but not enough. Potato Bandit also goes down after the save from Renata is over, and Renata follows suit. As now it's Garden Gaming running towards their own garden here. Bertree takes a lot of damage, but Kusei going forward still. Nickel does have the cleanse here and does get away, but Tempest are looking forward as Pussy goes over the wall. Flash from Beast God, and this game. Tempest, they're still quite low here. I don't know if they can end on this push, but they sure try.
15 seconds on the next member of GG, Tempest. They took it a little slower. They took it a little more evenly.
And Bussy is going to go in as that's Mikkel's Featherstorm not enough here, and that's also Zero going down, and that's decisive Tempest Gaming. Well, at least your predictions are safe for now.
I will be responding to your tweet in a few minutes, Leagues GG. But cheers. That is a 100% UKEL group win rate at the end of day 2. Easy peasy.
Yeah, Tempest Gaming, pretty strong looking there, not gonna lie.
That does taste delicious. Well done to Garden Gaming. I think that's more the team that was there in their lower bracket rendering playoffs. They clearly had an identity that they wanted to execute. Tempest Gaming, I feel, read them quite well, stopped that split push being effective. And while tier 2s were sacrificed, I think Hyper not, securing any kills by the end of that game really shows that the brakes were put on. This Irelia on the side lane carries there for Garden Gaming, and because of that, they weren't able to execute. They did put up a great fight, and they did push it later into the game than anyone has pushed Tempest for a little while. So it's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, Garden looking decently strong here. A lot stronger than 42 Gaming Academy in their first game of the day. Well, we'll be seeing those two head-to-head real close soon here, as both are still looking for their first win of the NLC RPS. So, little break, don't touch that browser, so on. And when we're back, Garden Gaming will face off against 42 Gaming Academy. Hello and welcome back, all friends of us, to the last game of today. It will be Gone Gaming versus 42 Gaming Academy. Both of these teams, well, they now know UKEL has some hands.
They do get to play against each other though, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Little bit of a way to just round out the day and just check ladder against Denmark for our final matchup.
Yeah, ladder roster on the 42 Gaming Academy side. Obviously, this team, we already saw them earlier today. The roster that we saw, a lot different than what they used in the Finnish Pro League during the last split, where they played most of their games. In addition to the ladder, only Gigonix, I believe, who played also in the FPL, Rise, their coach, now in the top lane. Other than that, a little bit of changes after the regular season. On the other side, Garden Gaming, well, they ended on a positive note, their Danish league. Here, however, Tempest, well, they had a good start against Tempest, but then Tempest
they held on, and they had that really like skewed identity where Hyper is playing like an absolute demon in sides, and then it's like, how do we manage this 4-1? And it nearly made Tempest sweat, nearly broke them apart, as they did have to rely on bigger team fighting pieces and winning through, that line of play instead. Draft potentially opening.
Yeah, I believe so. So Garden Gaming on the blue side here and 42 Gaming Academy on the red side. And as we already heard before, those AP junglers taken away from Goober and Mikkel the Draven. I don't think... I
He's
don't
not
know
allowed.
Yeah,
He's
when's the
not
last
allowed.
time he's allowed to play that? Not in a while, at least.
I was really surprised. I did think last game against Tempest, I was like, oh, I wonder if they like chicken the Draven. Because like banning it against Scream has also been like 90% or so. Like very, very high prevalent. But instead, like Tempest were just like, absolutely not. And not surprised to see 42 run it back here in Goober. Yeah, he's not going to be allowed the Talia, not going to be allowed the Lilia. Do you wonder to get his third choice, or whether he's going to be on Maokai duty?
Yeah, it's also the Draven in this game, so Afribi also plays a little bit of it in solo queue, but they neither don't want to take it. The Syndra taken away from Beastguard, and the Senna from Dempsey, so a little bit of a change in bans there, but still 2 towards the jungle and 1 towards that bottom side of 42 Academy.
Yeah, okay. So no crazy Senna lanes. I've been really enjoying Senna Neela, but that has kind of nipped that in the bud. Last ban here, we're thinking about reducing blue ones. Wouldn't be surprised to see Oriana or another sort of A-tier pick here.
Yeah, Oriana has been a lot in the priority, both in Worlds, also in the National Leagues playoffs. Actually, no ban
Maybe
on the
nothing.
last one.
I wasn't expecting to see nothing, I'm not gonna lie. That's a bit out there.
Maybe, I don't know, what would you want to trade with Oriana? Maybe Jarvan, Oriana trade.
Yeah, it does. Not that we should go too deep on competitive integrity,
Yeah.
but dropping bans on red side strictly advantageous for red, which does sometimes make me laugh when they get penalties, because you do just say, instead of like, oh, which B1 are we gonna let them have? It's like, yeah, you can have one of the 2, one of the 3 that we've allowed to go this deep, and then we'll have the rest, which is normally quite funny. Tristana in mid, a bit of an older counter. It still just about checks out, and will allow Goober to play the Karthus, which is very much his MO. We're still on those AP junglers. Bit of a weird way to react to an open draft. You're right, the Jarvan is still open here and would allow attacks onto the Tristana, Maokai as well. Plenty of A-tier picks up left for the jungle that address this Tristana.
Yeah, also, if you combo the Jarvan with Oriana, that's a really devastating engage, as well as if that Xante comes through, that top side could get really, really hairy, and that's Xante for Hyper. Yeah, that's 2 really strong solo lanes. Is this the broken version of Xante, or was it nerfed for this patch? I don't remember which patch is the live patch.
I think we will be seeing the version of Xante that only really kills people when he goes all out.
Okay.
The extra damage there, very significant on 0.22. Bisgard for Gun Gaming. Gonna lock in that AD carry. Gonna lock in the Varus that caused them so much trouble last game. And against the Karthus, I think the artillery version, the lethality version, has a lot of efficacy here. You don't need the all-in against stuff like the Tristana that can bop you away. Instead, being able to deal that damage a bit more evident, a bit more useful in the immediate term. Sivir lock-in wouldn't surprise me. It does win the lane against Varus, and it does go for that later game all-in style, which 42 should be able to manage effectively.
Yeah, actually 42. Even if this draft started off a bit weird, I actually like the champions they have picked so far with those solo lanes. Obviously, Cotton Gaming have strong hold on those, but Sivir, as I said, really good pick onto Varus. Also late game scaling, really strong. Their team fights are really strong for her as well. And now taking Jarvan off.
We can just move that Jarvan over to the left. I feel a bit fairer. Yeah, when you do drop bans in the first phase, it's best to use it before the second phase. Otherwise, you're just effectively truly a ban down here, a bit unusual. The Alistar lock-in, stuff that engages onto the Varus, is worth taking away. So that hints that it's going to be a rel lock-in for Garden Gaming, unless it's a banned away here. There it goes. There we go. Nice and easy. Because otherwise you're just lent into the Renata, which I don't think 42 want to go for based on this setup.
Yeah, it will be a really weird choice here, as you are really Renata is a champion.
It would be great if they'd not banned two things that Renata really enjoys playing against.
both those, Jarvan and Rail there, you really like people coming on to, but that Bard ban, I don't know, they might have a deeper read on Dempsey than I have, because I don't know where this Bard is coming from at all.
You know, the Bard, you can pick it for support and 4 if you really want to, but it does just allow you to mess with the melee supports, and I think Garden Gaming might be going for the Rakan here, who's somehow evaded tons of attention. I can slow him down a little. The Scion lock-in should be pretty easily punished by the Cassante. Again, 42 have sort of started to let this go post-second ban phase, where we're getting a little bit more like reliant on crazy things happening and sort of outside of what I would normally praise Garden Gaming and Tempest for. Is a very like controlled playstyle. They pick an identity, they go to it. Potato Panda, I think the Nocturne here fits nicely. You've got 3 powerful carries there. The Cassante, of course, will wean away, but giving him an all-out and a dive buddy follow-up, really strong. The Rakan as well, pretty telegraphed here for the bot lane, nice and engagey. The Sivir should be able to spell shield a bit, but he's going to struggle. Dempsey is really deep on support pool here.
Yeah, I'm looking at what can you even play here. On top of that, you already said a lot of engaged tools for Garden Gaming. The Nocturne Orianna combo where you buffer the Orianna.
Oh yeah, you saw it yesterday?
And then the fallout from Rakan, like 42 Gaming. Okay, Leona. Well, that's the next engaged support if you don't really play Mario here, but I don't know if I like that still.
Struggles against the Rakan. The only way you sort of make this work as the Leona is ulting in from long range, it's long cooldown, it's high risk, high reward on a potential, maybe even like medium reward if you're not going to be catching Mikkel, who will undoubtedly be running the cleanse here. It's a bit of a reach. We'll have to see if Dempsey's got the technology in the lane, because I think that's going to be a struggle for this Leona.
Yeah, laning against Rakan is not fun, and obviously, yeah, you have the 2 engaged targets in Varus and Orianna that you want to go in on Leona. One of them is running cleanse, the other one is Orianna, who doesn't really need to be in your range before the fight starts. So it's going to be really rough for them to play this game. But overall, 42 Gaming, I like the idea that they got in the comp that you have this heavy scaling with Tristana, you know, can pop off from the mid lane, but at the same time, Garden Gaming, that team comp looks scarily strong.
It looks really good, doesn't it? I sort of feel like 42 have muddied the identity they were going for at the first half, where it was like, you know, long range all-in management, with the Sivir being able to come forwards, backwards very effectively, with the Tristana being able to say like, no, this person departs the team fight, and then we're going to carry on. And instead, it's just a bit of chaos, especially with Leona there to try and get things started. I think if Garden Gaming just like avoid 5v5 like clusters, they're gonna have a fine time with this composition. As you mentioned, big A+ picks that are so strong on the patch. We're looking at Nocturne, Rakan especially. Yeah, they're gonna have an easy time managing this unless they drop the ball. We'll have to see, as we are nearly on to the Rift for our final and 4th game of the day.
Yeah, only 4 today. We can hear the sounds, the sweet.
I can hear it. It's there. It's soon.
We're closing.
Have you got the casters start game button, Tebs? I haven't got. Oh, I found it. There we go.
Yeah,
Has
they
to
haven't
start
given
game.
they haven't given that to me yet. I'm here for the first time on this NLC LoL channel, and it's the last game of the day, as you said, between Garden Gaming and 42 Gaming Academy, with a heavily rotated roster from what we, or at least what I've
Yeah,
grown
it's what
used
you're
to.
used to, right?
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
only
the same.
It's only Chicken that I'm used to seeing there. Rice on the the little name that who's drafting for them, but no on the Rift. But what I've heard, Rice and MC are both really. Ooh, actually, we're having a little bit of an early game. Level 1 struggle here with Hype and Rice, but yeah, Science should be okay here. Just walks under turret, and that's that.
Yeah. All right. If you're not already, follow that lower third. Go and follow us on whatever that social platform is called this week. X for now. Because then you'll get loads of updates, like when myself and Tebs are casting, or when the RPS will be gracing your screens once again. 42 Academy coming for a late invade here. It can push the Nocturne away. If only he was there.
Not seen by the Dragon. So if Cooper wants, yeah, he's starting from the red buff, and there's no certain knowledge of this by Garden Gaming. While that's going on, Hyper once again level 1. Yeah, Xanted can take these trades. Cyan isn't really bothered by it, just annoyed that I can't hit the level 1.
No one's health bar is actually empty there until it's really below that 200 mark where you can start flashing and all inning. And yeah, that Karthus has got away with an absolute heist. Garden Gaming knows something is up because those chickens, which Karthus loves his chicken, just still untaken, a little unusual at this stage. Potato Panda will be noticed on his way in. We'll have to see whether the junglers go even. Viper bullying Rice a little. This is what we expect from the Cassante in this matchup. Just going to be a little more of a frustration, dipping and diving around the bigger, slower, clunkier axe from Rice. They've spotted Goober leaving there. So 42 Academy's plan now shown. Garden Gaming gonna have to get some more wards down. They're gonna try and track Goober directly here, so rather than indirectly through things like he was on this ward at this time, so we'll figure out. They're just gonna show off the Karthus' lower half, try and keep Potato Panda safe as he continues to invade. Won't be spotted by the minion wave in top as well. Really nice timing, all in and bot.
Yeah, Dempsey are going forward as actually is Ghost Puppet by a freebie, and he's just running forward out in MKL, but actually taking a lot of damage from the wave there.
It's a lot of blight stacks.
It's
going to be the flash. I'd be flash queuing for Mikkel as soon as that's back up. The spell shield is out.
Dempsey goes forward, Shiro flashes away. Now freebie goes forward as well. No kills, however, as Shiro does get away, and on the other side, Mikkel not quite able to take down the ADC.
Yeah, should have his piercing arrow now. Only had the hail of arrows and the blight beforehand. This is a dangerous position for 42 Academy's lane. They might be slightly healthier on support. That's another spell shield out, and this Varus can hit from so far away.
Only summoner spells remaining are on Mikkel in that bottom lane. If last game was kind of sluggish to start off, this time around,
no such thing. No such thing in the final game of the day. I think everyone keen to try and push the envelope, try and get out there. Shiro right up in Dempsey's face.
Dempsey does get the stun down, but Shiro is quite far away. Good dodge as Goober is coming down. After taking a lot of damage from the minions, Dempsey does go down for the first blood, but that's 2 kills over for 42 Gaming Academy. A nice throw coming.
A freebie went sub 25 health there. Absolutely. To the wall, to the nail. Potato Panda has stopped Goober's recall.
Yeah, and does get the Sphere as well down. No flash on the Karthus, of course, as that exhaust is used. Potato Panda getting a shutdown from the Karthus in 4 minutes and a half. Chiconix looking towards Biscard, but I don't really fancy that move.
I think that's a dicey dive. Does get the bomb down. Going to continue chipping away the health. That will be Biscard's teleport out there. And yeah, GG. Even though in the all-in they were slightly surprised by Goober coming up, weren't able to continue that tracking with that direct ward gone. And we're probably expecting the Karthus to recall into some more items. Instead, the upset in bot lane, but the shutdown back onto Potato Panda means we're due even more of an exciting mid game as both junglers race towards level 6.
Hey, also positives from 42 Gaming Academy. They didn't take 20 minutes to get their first kill this time around.
Hey, huge.
Their fears for a moment. Anyways, bot lane, once again, Shiro and Dempsey looking a little bit feisty there, but too bit of a way for 42 Gaming Academy to really do something. However, Sivir clears that very quickly, as now Shiro looking forward that Sivir no special use here. Also takes a lot of damage as Mikkel now flashes forward, does get a lot of damage down, and that's Sivir dead. Dempsey still trying to get away, and that should be okay. Does use the ignite there, just out of camaraderie towards Shiro.
It's a weakness of the Leona there in lane. Once the spell shield is out, you do have to play bodyguard for the Sivir. And it's so hard up against a pick like the Rakan. He's so slippery, even here at this stage of the game at level 4. It's so hard to stay stable in that lane, and God Gaming know this. They realize they push forwards. They punish 42 Gaming for picking this weak lane. Now with the dragon up, they do have numbers advantage. Both mid laners are missing here. God Gaming running out of time.
Dempsey looking for Shiro and does get the stun down, however gets the dance away. Chigonix not quite there to get the kill on the Shiro, and that's Gonna Gaming escorting their support out from the Dragon Pit after securing the first Infernal for them.
Yeah, last second there. Chigonix had just arrived, wasn't quite able to offer enough damage to take down the Rakan. Shiro getting away, his tail between his legs. And you know, it's an odd position. GG, after having to sort of scrabble for revenge in the bot lane, now feeling a lot more comfortable. One reset does mean they're probably going to lose a plate here, but I think they're happy with that after an Infernal Dragon pickup.
This run from Giganix towards the bot side has been spotted, and Mikkel knows something's up and does decide to wait for his support to come before going under the turret. Also, potentially, yeah, now notice Goober over the wall there, but 2-man strong, they are not that easy to dive, and Mikkel gets some of that farm for himself.
Yeah, if we look across the map right now, 42 Academy have got a full shell of vision around at this bottom side. They want to spot Rakan, Shiro on a roam, and they will do. It's sort of a U placed between the two tier 1 towers. Very cool. Not seen that sort of alignment placement of wards very commonly. And yeah, Shiro will be spotted on his way up to mid. The Rift Herald coming up, so this is the focus. Hyper is behind the tower, but he's gonna maybe struggle and run out of time here. 42 Academy are showing up in force.
But that's paranoia used by Potato Panda towards Goober, but Santa trying to reach the fight as well, uses all out on Dempsey to get closer, and that's dead Goober for sure, but Potato Panda also real low here. Carter's ult used, as that is not quite enough to take the Nocturne down, while the fight's also going on. Rice and Beastguard now also joining here. Sion does fall down. Hypa fairly low, but Shiro's the target that Rice going for, and he's able to dance away from this Potato Panda, not quite able to get the execute, and grants the kill over to Goober.
I think 1 second more would have denied the double buffs coming over, would have denied Goober getting a bunch more gold and those Dark Seal stacks replenished. Yeah. That's a little rough there. Potato Panda maybe just didn't feel he could have slipped down and away towards his own team's control. But it was pretty tight on the spacing. If 42 Academy walked back, he would have gifted them that kill. So in the end, neither team gets the Rift Herald. The AD carries have to sort of fear for their lives as they're on their own. And, you know, if there's anything we know about AD carry means, it's that they love holding hands and having their friends near them, which is fine, but explains their anxiety in stepping up to this wave right now. Both supports getting some vision, but on their way back down to support their carries. Means that Potato Panda, on his own up here, without the Requiem, Karthus is a lot weaker than Nocturne without Paranoia.
Yeah, that is very true. Both supports now working their way down to bottom lane. Also, Goober spotted on that bottom side as on this top side. Rice and Hyper still, as you said earlier,
wailing away. Absolutely, skills traded, health changes, but it all seems the same. Very unusual. Right. Or very usual for top lane, I should say. Right, Mikkel's managed to secure a little bit of an experience lead there, so we'll have to see if that translates into anything when Shiro does ding level 6. There's Paranoia onto mid.
Nice follow-up with the flash from Potato Panda on the jump, and Yigonix is dead here. Actually, Biscard given the kill over by Potato Panda. Really nice placed from Potato Panda here.
That's how you know a jungler really loves his mid lane. Is even donating the kill over maximum gold efficiency into the mid lane. Dempsey looks to go forwards, has just ding level 6. Shiro's got the same.
There's the cleanse for Mikkel, however, so the engage from Leona needs to land everything to make it worth.
If anything, you might ult Shiro here, knowing that you won't kill him, but you might be able to force a trade.
Still going on to Mikkel, that's the cleanse used away immediately as now Dempsey a little bit far on his own now. Afribi gets to hit the Mikkel, and also does he get to take the verse down as no, Potato Panda takes the Sivir down, and that's also a kill for Mikkel as the Nocturne has joined the bot lane. 2 kills over for GG, and now that's Mikkel. Should be dead here. No, the shield's enough for Shiro.
Oh, the Andries! Just enough there. The mythic item from Gooba. 3 for 1 in favor of Garden Gaming. They did manage to take out Gooba in mid, so lucky that he was just able to respawn in time to cast that just to burn through the shield. Rice feeling he has to flash in that extended top trade. Let's have a look at the replay here. This is mid. Bisgard maybe unhappy with the way Gooba was trying to pick up this wave. This is a great thing to do if you can do it safely. Get some extra experience on your jungler. But yeah, that's 2 attacks, a dissonance, and 2 autos, enough to shred the Karthus through. Dempsey tried really hard to get the engage here, countered the cleanse by going with every other skill first, but it means you have to extend through the lane, and Potato Panda, they're in time to pick up for his friends. 42 Academy, faster out with the tempo on the map. The Karthus respawn first. So they get to the objective, and we'll continue our trend of splitting dragons.
The Finnish viewers know when I'm casting, it's at least 1 Cloud Soul.
Oh, we love some Cloud Soul. We love some Cloud Soul. You know, with T1 being in the World Finals, that had to be a Cloud Soul. Every game I think of UK Finals that I remember vividly, Cloud Soul. It's just the way to be.
Yeah, Rice getting harassed under his own turret as that. He's taken down with the Herald. Potato Panda picked off earlier, but Giganix and Cooper potentially joining up here. Rice still has that unstoppable force? Train, I don't know. Paranoia used out the Gobber as that's TP also from Biscard coming in. Do they have enough damage to burst down Nocturne? They do. All out use onto Cooper, but Hypa does get taken down by Cooper in the end. That's 2 for 1. And a turret in the top side. That's where
a bit rough for GG. They're going to go in bot though.
Yeah, no Golden that's Garden Gaming has all freebie taken down. What damage from Mikkel Dempsey. Still trying to get something as Gigonix. That's double TP. Rice also there. That's 1 for Rice, and that's 1 for 1 in the bottom lane. And for the Academy, well, they get something back.
They got to be so happy with that. That's 3 quick kill credits onto this Scion. 2 in top, where they did not quite... where GG were not quite able to get Biscard in time. This is Hyper, they're going to extend.
Shiro taken really low here. Giganix uses the Buster Shot to get a little bit extra time. Hyper, however, well, that's a dead Rakan on the Karthus ult. That's kill number 7 already on Karthus. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, they tallied up fast. 42 Academy, they're making the most of the chaos here. I think GG know they can be proactive. They can go for these plays. Hey, I've got a lead in top side. Let's go do this. But 42 Academy holding the teleports, and yeah, wow, 200 extra gold from that first strike. Not bad. That's going to get a lot more as the Shadow Flame should be finished here soon for Gooba. And yeah, it's like with the teleport timings, with the ultimate timings there, 42 Academy just coming out on top as they can move people around the map, have that numbers advantage, and Gooba is going to hit bot lane again.
Yeah, Hyper and Mikkel are quite far up. No TPs to join here right now as that is Dempsey. Paranoia actually used on range as well if they decide to go, but for now, just to scare away. Now, the Ghost used from Afribi, trying to hit on the Hyper. Dempsey flashes forward, but does get taken closer to the enemy team. The ultimate not quite enough to do much for Dempsey as now all out used. Does however get taken down by Afribi, and that's well, the retaliation engage, not as you hoped it to go. Rice actually gets taken down top lane by Biscard.
Yeah, that's going to be Scion's job for the rest of the game, I feel. A little bit vulnerable out in the side lane. Has left the Scion weak. But yeah, the all-out over the wall there from Hyper. It seemed like he wanted a short hop, but maybe he could have tried to not travel through the wall there. A little too far from his own teammates. Leaves the Cassante without his armor and magic resist, and falling down a little too fast. 42 Academy, they're not pushing the boat out too far. It was a shame about the solar flare. It was a shame that they disengaged, forced because of the paranoia. But at the end of the day, they still somehow come out on ahead just by finishing what they start.
Yeah, that's still about 3,000 gold lead for Garden Gaming here.
It doesn't feel like it, does it?
It doesn't. It doesn't. Karthus, as we can see, 1.3k in the jungle alone for Goober. Rest of the map, yeah. If you're a 42 Gaming Academy fan, don't look at that. Look at the channel as Rise, as Hyper for company. For now,
listen, he got the Heartsteel proc. That was what Rice really wanted there. That's the real victory. Now just got to run away and save his health bar. He does have some friends on the way. This Scion has been juicy bait.
Yeah, both Goober and Dempsey are joining up top. Hyper, however, dashing away. Paranoia used just to scare the team off. No, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, not twice in a row.
But whoever uses that W nicely. All out used. Yeah.
Not able to flash. Yeah, didn't want to risk it. Didn't want to just be picked off and lose the summoner spell. Does mean Requiem's still available though.
Yeah, even if he flashed, Giganix was on their way up top, so that would have been just a kill for Tristana there, but a lot of stacks on Goober's Darksteel here, 7. And actually going for Rabadon second here.
Straight for the Rabadons, yeah, no penetration required. It doesn't really matter which of those you get second on Karthus if you are going to do the sort of cast your ult and just get a bit of gold, a bit of pressure. And both of them very effective. I am a huge fan of Shadow Flame if the rest of your team is going to dip the enemy health bars for you. So if you don't want to rely on that, if you're not going to say, hey, the door needs to come through first.
Giganix just a little bit of a trade on the Beast Guard as the Herald gets dropped in the mid lane in preparation for the Dragon that has spawned. And Garden Gaming looking to get that pressure for their rotation towards the bot side of map.
Does mean they get into this Dragon first, and Mikkel takes down a freebie. That volatile bot lane, the Sivir versus Varus, flips so quickly. If Sivir gets to play through, if Varus makes a mistake, she will just all in and win that. But at this stage, this on-hit Varus just enough with the Blade of the Rune King to beat the Sivir out from range.
Yeah, Shiro and Mikkel just getting the Sivir out with the life that she had for a moment, and we're gonna see what happened.
Okay, half health, and oh, Shiro. Absolutely clean as he dashes forwards, burns the flash, and rips a freebie's head off. That's the best timing I think we've seen from GG so far in this tournament. They get that just before the Dragon, get a clean transition in. Hyper here, a little bit overextended, but Goober does prefer eating his own camps to actually getting out on the map. Not going to force it. Garden Gaming in the lull state do have to reassess their lane assignments, I feel. If you're going to push on in that top side, you want Biscard and Potato Panda nearby, ideally, but instead that's flipped to the other side of the map. So Cassante will move away from the lane, and if he does show there, he should let that push in, or is this going to be the hyper aggression special? Yeah, it's going to push that out. That's going to keep Draconics there. GG, going to look for some vision around mid.
Yeah, and there's not a lot on map right now, with the Baron spawning in a tad over a minute. Dragon just taken down. We have entered the Nena and Kaivuvahe as Karvis teached us last night on Monday. The no speaking face. Yeah,
he pulled that on me in Danish finals. I just had no response. We love Karvis. You come up with some stuff, man. It's great fun.
And now potential dive here. Actually, the turret will go down first, and Dempsey gets rooted for a moment, but not enough damage. They don't want to go on to that as they
misleadingly there. That ate the whole Iron Solari shield real fast.
Yeah,
and with that, you know, the scaling percentage health P down might have enabled the Varus to do a little bit more. Alas, 42 Academy have their tower broken. Not a strong response, really. They burned to 2 ultimates there. And those are the sort of management team fight ultimates we wanted. We wanted the Sivir to be able to move everyone around. We wanted the Tristana to say no, probably to Nocturne, but maybe to Orianna, get the ball out of there. Maybe to Mikkel, doesn't want to hit people on the front line. So now, a little bit of a moment where GG have the ability, the impetus to come forwards in a team fight. They've only got a wave or two to realize it.
Yeah, actually, now 42 Gaming Academy getting a nice push in the mid lane, however. That won't last long, as they do not want to go too deep without having 100% certainty where Garden Gaming is waiting for them. But for now, the Baron has come up. We know Garden Gaming, with the composition they have, like Varus, does quite a bit of damage onto the Baron. However, Orianna does not have Liandry's, which would have helped with the burning of the Baron. So they're decent defense.
Allows you to pick it off, but then with the Liandry's, that extra threat of the Shockwave comes back around. So it's pretty balanced on total. The Nocturne, importantly, his Q Dustbringer adds a shed load of AD at this stage. With the attack speed off of the Stridebreaker, will be able to shred through that Baron. And with the Varus as well, you highlighted Blight, Blade of the Ruin King, the Ginsus to plow through and double stack those passives. Means that GG pretty excited about this Baron.
Yeah, for this Gaming Academy need to be real cautious around this purple worm up top, but for now, Garden Gaming not forcing anything there. They know that they are fairly strong right now, and 42 Gaming Academy really needs to play off of their mistakes here. Obviously, they do scale really well on the red side, but
they've got this massive bomb in his Karthus just ready to go, ready to drop from the skies with the Requiem. I don't know. I'm not sure when they're going to use it, because that Karthus got a load of takedowns, a load of gold, and then not a lot has happened after. Both teams maybe wanting to interface with that Karthus in a safe way. You know, Garden Gaming is not going to all in onto the Karthus. They're not going to risk that, and 42 don't want to lose those stacks, which is a bit odd because you can get them back straight away if you make the play work out. But a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of nerves showing here.
Yeah, Shiro just escorting those remaining minions up to be cleared.
We will go over the halfway line. We will win the reverse tug of war for the Nexuses.
You wouldn't like this Rakan, any other team, he wouldn't be allowed to be in this position. Okay, 42 Academy know where the engage will come when it comes, but right now they got control over mid wave. However, Hypa pushing that bot lane unanswered right now. Shiro looking for a potential engage here.
Yeah, they're gonna just gonna escort 42 away, try and keep them here, try and tempt them back into a fight. The dragon is up, but Hyper's cosplaying his Aurelia from last game. He's doing as much damage to this tower as he can. And wherever 42 go, there is the threat of a cross map away. The Karthus has started the dragon, and with that, Garden Gaming onto the Baron as 42 Academy are stretched and split across the map.
Yeah, that Baron falling at half HP right now, and this will surely go for Garden Gaming. 42 Academy still far away on the hunt. Paranoia also as an answer there. That's Baron for Garden Gaming. As Shiro does go down, but gets stands away, and Hypa has joined the fight. That's Gigonix down. That's Dempsey following his AD carry. Mid laner down. Potato Panda with that fear on the Cooper, not quite able to take him down. Now the ADC of Afribi going down there. Cooper follows up, and Rice alone. Mohican standing, but that's not gonna be enough. A lot of hard steel stacks available there. Does get two, but that's a clean fight for Garden Gaming in the end.
Yeah, little victories, unfortunately, for Rice. And if we look back over that fight, we see the dragon goes down. The Karthus isn't here, but his ultimate offers so much damage. I was so worried on behalf of Garden Gaming there that they'd almost lost it. Potato Panda tries to go for the flash for the insect back into the team. Does get the fear into the wall, which allows Hyper to open up. And a freebie off of the side here. Not quite scaled as heavy as this Varus without the shield goes down nice and fast. Garden Gaming, they won the objective choices. They picked right on this exam. They'll take down 42 Academy in response. A huge Baron power play.
And 10k gold lead for them as well. This will be a rough ride for 42 Gaming Academy to climb this mountain of gold. Not quite Mount Everest. I'd say this is Kilimanjaro levels.
Yeah, we are getting up for the big mountain ranges, right? We're not going to say it's unsurmountable. You know, no mountain can't be overcome by either human ingenuity or absolute ego. But it might be that level of ego. Like, you know, don't stop believing 42 Academy. But you're in a tough position right now.
Now that we're talking about this gold lead, the Danes in chat are sweating bullets right now. Don't do this to us. Garden Gaming, I'm sure. the little that I watched their run towards the Danish playoffs, they were able to close games when they had these kind of leads, so it shouldn't be too much of a hassle for them. 42 Academy, they just want to get rid of these minions as Gigonix. Nice buster shot there, not allowing Hyper to get onto him. But there's Paranoia. This you can buster shot now. Tries to flash away, but Potato Panda is ready to take down a freebie, trying to get something back, but the Potato Panda is too fast. However, Carter's ult, that'll finish the job. And another kill over to Cooper.
That is a lot of investment onto Potato Panda there. 42 Academy are without key teamfight ultimate Shiro.
Ooh, that's
that movement.
Not quite. Shiro does go towards the enemy team and dance away, but while that's going on, Rise is in the back line. Now Hypa in the other back line loads onto cover, and that's dead Carthus. And that's a very dead Dempsey as well, and Garden Gaming just tearing 42 Academy apart. The latter team cannot get anything here off Freebie. Well, takes one, but that's all he takes, and that's surely at least inhibitors.
Yeah, I'm thinking even with Draconics of Garden Gaming going for infrastructure here, they win a pretty classic front to back in the 4 versus 5. 42 Academy. Their ultimate's now more important than their own health bars. When you've got stuff like this Carthus, when you've got the Sivir to help everyone reposition. Garden Gaming, they're going to demolish one Nexus tower, and they're going to respectfully tell 42 Academy they'll see them in a few minutes.
Respectfully just glancing at the Nexus and deciding that that's not right now for us. Hypa, Rise TPing towards the enemy team. However, Hypa bodyguarding for his team and getting Mikkel and Biscard out of there, and
yeah, out of trouble, out of danger. I'm a big fan of these defensive paranoias at this stage of the game. We're almost 25% of the way back through that cooldown already, and people haven't even finished channeling their bases. Really enjoying the Nocturne performance here. You know, it's no crisis, but I think Potato Panda's put on a show. Taking out Draconics here, getting all of these ultimates is worth more than even that strong Nocturne's life right now. And it does allow Garden Gaming to go through this front to back. They're carefully moving away. Shiro is safe here despite giving over the Heartsteel stack. Nearly moves into the Solar Flare, but with this split, the Shockwave breaks 42's approach. It was pretty telegraphed. Dempsey took it just because the Shockwave was pretty, the Aftershock was available, nice and tanky to hold the position. But 42 being this far split, Goober not being able to get the Defile down onto anyone. And Garden Gaming's frontline bar, a very healthy Hyper, means that even though they get a concession prize, 42 Academy didn't stand a chance here.
And when we get back to live, we have action into top lane as Hyper. Hyper versus 2. Gigonix trying to do
there's 3!
And all out used. Gigonix dashing around.
No!
Take it down. Hyper! But that's the 4th man is enough. Goober coming to finish the job. Whilst that's going on, Mikkel takes the Dragon TP from Beastguard towards the base of 42 Academy.
We've all had it in our top lane games, haven't we? We play solo queue, we play top, it's like, bring more opponents for me. Hyper, 1-for-1 in the 4 versus 1 extended trade. 42 Academy's base is broken open, their vision in sparse clusters around the map. The Baron coming up in 30 seconds, they will see through virtue of the Rift Scuddler, but nothing else as GG run away with all of their gotten gains.
15 or so seconds for the Baron Asher, and we have another one on our hands. Hyper will be ready for
if
that.
42 are gonna do this, there's gonna have to be a huge Carthus ultimate. I'm not sure if he's got yellow runes in the back. If he's got coup de grace, he's got to hold it. If he's got cut down, he's got to hold it. Oh, sorry. Yes, both of those are true. It's weird. If he has red runes, he's got to use it at the start. But in any case, 42 have got to set up. They have the Buster Shot available in 3, 2, 1. They'll get going.
They get going. Mikkel is split from his team, and Shiro with an amazing engagement with the chocolate from Beastguard, and like that, our freebie is dead. Gigonix is dead. Rise solo. Dempsey also now taken down by Hyper. Goober is not even a part of this fight anymore. That's 4 for 42 Gaming already taken out, and Garden Gaming just rolling through. That's triple kill for Potato Panda. Requiem for dead. Well, that's only one for Beast God taken down, and that should be the game for Garden Gaming.
Yeah.
What a way to end it.
All the revives of Scion and Karthus in the world couldn't keep Garden Gaming from putting their shovel in, digging themselves away to a pretty big victory. The first Baron power play, I think, maintained 10,000 gold on the board as they defeat 42 Academy.
The latter team falling in the hands of Danes here, and that's one win in the bag for Garden Gaming. 42 Gaming Academy. Yeah, you're still a ladder team for me. Sorry, that's
all right. That's the way it is. You know, I think that's a pretty convincing win. I think 42 Academy warmed up better in the early game here. They've got signs of life to show. When you play ladder, you're not used to this like group or Swiss format that I think the league teams from like Denmark, Finland, Norway, the United Kingdom, and Ireland are more accustomed to. So we'll have to see warm up over the tournament. They do have a chance to get out against the second half of their group in the future. And Tebs, this is unprompted, so production, just smack my wrist if you're not ready. I think we've got some predictions to look at. I've got some gloating to do.
Yeah. So the first, second, and fourth pick, those are my national. That's my national pride showing.
That's all right. That's okay. You can defend that. You can defend that. You know, I'd like to point out that Carvis, Duckling, and Zlepper are punished for not believing. Now I understand, Sebs, because you've gone deep on this strategy, right? You've owned this. This is national pride, the prediction line. However, these traders not ready for the Tempest Storm. Dogslitter, casting partner from Monday, he'd seen the Ruddy coming through, and he knew Tempest would be better because I told him. But in any case, congratulations, Dogslitter, on full predictions, and I'm going to pat myself on the shoulder as well. But I think I kind of cheated in that I've seen Tempest coming, and if you aren't like fiercely following the UKEL, you might not have noticed the near undefeated run this team had gone through. That's very reasonable. You know, you got to stick to what you know.
Well, that's going to be the games for today. We'll be back, I think Friday is the next set of games with hopefully 6 games that day. For now, that'll be, I think, Group A back in action with that side of things.
Exciting.
Very exciting
it's been a pleasure. It's been a fun cast.
Yeah. Hey, first like good production English cast for me. So
nice.
Rusty still. But
welcome to the NLC main channel. I've not been here very long myself, but yeah, Cow, you're doing a great job there in the background. The rest of them can't hear you, but we like you.
Yeah, Cow doing God's work here. Anyways, yeah, Temporal, thanks for joining me, and also thanks for all the viewers. I think we are going to wrap it up for here tonight. And
thank you for watching.
See you Friday. Yes.
Till next time.